Hello. Good evening, everybody. Where you are right now? If you're on the East Coast, the West Coast, wherever you are, I hope life is treating you well, and I hope that God in His infinite mercy is having mercy on you. Today being the Super Day, the Super Bowl day in America here, we are also having a super discussion this evening, and Prince Adewole has been, he has been more than a hit. What you call what do you call it, a movie? When you have a chat buster. He's one that you're looking for truth. You go and hear from him. You may not like the way he puts it, but I enjoy listening to him because he has a phrase for every situation, and he is somebody that we believe that, or I believe that if he was in position, he'd probably be able to make a difference, because I think he has a fairer understanding, or a very good understanding, of what Nigeria is going through and what needs to be done to change the situation. One of such people that I love in Yoruba land, and I mean no respect to any other, disrespect to any other person, is Dr. Akinyemi Adesina, who was the past president of African Development Bank. He's somebody that I would put my money on the line for, because he is a very fair-minded person who has a very good understanding of what to be done at each time. So Nigeria has great minds, whether we like it or not, but the situation or the problem has been that the great minds never make it to the great office. And so from what it should be to where we have it now. And the unfortunate part is, just like he said, those who are on the hem of affairs don't even still know that they are drifting away. And it's sad. And they continue to do things in the same way we have done it, that have brought us to this point. In other words, we are not likely to see any change between now and the next century to come if things are done this way. So it does not matter whether we are 60 years old or 60-something years old, we are going to continuously to be in the direction that we are going. And it's not going to help. I give you an example. Some days ago, some of the states were celebrating 50 years of being a state. Imo State, Abia State, all majority of the states, Benue State. And the question you ask yourself is, at 50 years old, if you don't know your way around the village, that means you probably not be able to know it again. Okay? And that's why we find ourselves as a nation. We are still playing. When the world is coming to a new phase, that everything is being on the table. Sovereignty, economic situations and all that, it's on the table. And we are yet playing at a very local level, at a very pedestrian level, at a very naive level, at a very, I don't know what the right word to use here. The level we are playing is so primary that sometimes we begin to wonder. And that's why we get applauded in our nation is jubilating when the president said that your first lady is very respected, and we are all jubilating. The same president tomorrow will say you are in a disgraced nation, and everybody goes mad. Now he says so, we are all jubilating. But now that he made whenever he comes back and make another different statement, we all be mad. We all find what to say about him. We need to put ourselves in one place and know exactly what. Anyway, that's my own opening for today. And I want to say, it is not good news. I just contemplating whether I should play the videos or not of what is currently going on. Certain individuals are running from there. In fact, this is live coverage. Someone was taking it live as the whole community was running away from their, from their attackers. And yet, just like Prince Adewale said, where is the military? And why do we have to deploy the military when it's already late, when the deeds have been done? Those days when we were growing up in primary school, there used to be a very famous saying we used to say, it's too late to cry when the head is off. You don't cry, or you need to cry before the head is off. I used to be in the basketball team, and I had the pleasure of leading. Let me say, I was graced to lead my basketball team for 5 years when I was in secondary school. And I always tell my mates when we are playing, okay, tournaments. And at the time we take over the tournament and we are playing, they all be playing stylish, trying to show off, trying to do the dribble and all. And I used to call them every time I would say, hey guys, let's put our mind in the goal. The goal, the goal. It's not about how stylish you can move. It's not about how you can do a layup. It's not about how you can do a turnaround. It's not about how you can dribble. It's about getting the ball through the net. As long as, if you like, can be a King Jabal and do all whatever you can do, as long as the basketball is not going through the net, my brother, your play, your drama and nonsense. Just like going to cut a girl. When you're going there, you go, you wear your best style, you do everything. I go there and be speaking Oyibo. I was gonna be hacking, and then the person, when they do one thing, my late father used to say something. If you're going to struggle for land, while the person is telling stories to the elders that this land belongs to him, you just be planting your own yam on the ground. Eventually, when they decide, they say, oh boy, this land belongs to Mr. A. So the elders will say, Mr. A has already planted yam on the land. You know what? Wait for him. After this farming season, next season, the last time for us to call bluff off, because these localities are taking over every day may never come back to us if we do not take an immediate action. But having said that, I have a lot of people waiting to go on this. And I want to acknowledge forefather himself is the first very one that I saw here. And then, of course, Jefferson and Okpoblo, yeah, and I'll skip you right now because I'm not on camera. And Chim and Jagun, my brother from another side of the earth. And then, of course, we have, this today, the London guys have shown up. We have another great man here with us, CM. And okay, yeah, this is my brother Tony. My sister Ify the Great. I'll give you the first go. You have a first bite on this because you're the only lady here. And of course, my brother, great John Abba. You're welcome. Today was, something else. I know that not a lot of people were happy with his answers, but I was, because sometimes you need to listen to the other side of the story and see, and then use that to match yourself, whether you are actually analyzing properly or not. But first, if you don't mind, for I want Ify to take a go, and then I'll come back to you. Ify, yes. Yes, Ify, go ahead.
It's a mistake in the sense that
honestly, let another person talk.
just
let me pass for now.
I would like to begin as an observer.
Okay, I wanted to start from the beginning, Jagun, but if forefather does not mind, I can give you the opportunity. But forefather, what do you say?
I'm actually quite sure I was the first to come on because I came on directly. But everybody's here, which is good. And yeah.
It's not the way I
It's not of you to beg me. I just you say you are the first. What kind of attitude?
It's not the way I
beg
to me.
So I will let you speak. That's all you're supposed to
do. Me, I don't beg. I don't know if you know me at all. I don't beg. That's not my. That's not my upbringing.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr.
Jagun. Guys, this is my own Ondo Mano, and I listened to him very carefully. And as a politician and a lawyer, I didn't fancy his communication. I do understand that, everybody communicates differently at a different level. When he was explaining things, man, for me, he wouldn't explain things in such a way that there is either gravitas or understanding necessarily to what he's saying. He seemed to me to water things down to the point that what's the point of even talking? I'm a critical individual, and somebody who calls himself a politician and a politician who, like myself, doesn't agree with the present campaign or present regime that's running the country, I would think he would have a lot more to say of real deference. No, sorry, that's the wrong word. Real um, uh, uh, difference, I suppose, to where the government presently is. And for me, again, I just don't like politicians, and Nigerian politicians particularly, because there's no way you'd vote for that guy. He'll become president, and you'll see anything different from what we have right now. You won't see anything different. And if one is not looking for something different, then I feel that we're just failing ourselves. A couple of things I want to say to the administration of this show. One man came here and he spoke, I think he was speaking about Okija. He said, that Igbo guy is speaking X, Y, and Z or whatever. And then Rudolph actually put it on screen. And I'm thinking, I don't know what rules this show is about, because they are crazy, idiotic rules with more idiotic people who are instilling these rules of zero. The rules that we have on this panel seem to me to be only rules dictated by YouTube or whichever authoritative platform you're on. They're not rules that depict or show that we are a Nigerian peoples and we are trying to keep a certain level of decorum for and amongst ourselves. I don't know how you can even allow one man to be on the show. You should just block him, because he's not adding anything good. Is it because he put £2 down that he's now allowed to speak in a tribalistic way, and then you guys would put it on screen? I'm thinking you guys don't, you can't think. In my understanding, you're not thinking. The guy said, that Igbo guy, when he has a name and the name is written. I found that so rude. So rude. I'm incensed. I'm incensed with it. Let me put that down for now. That was one of the things that I wanted to come on board and speak about, to Rudolph himself. I would actually phone him about it, because it seems like you know me, I'm critical. I'm a critique. I'm a guy who would criticize. And you know, having no passion left or right, apart from what is given to you by YouTube, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. All you are follow people. That's what it tells me. It tells me that you don't know how to make rules. You don't know how to judge. Somebody's being tribalistic on the platform, and you're not only allowing it, you're screening it. Come on, guys. I mean, I was very upset with that. I must say, very upset. I can't hear you. You're not being heard, sir.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I apologize that we didn't catch that. I don't think Rudolph himself saw it. I saw it, but
no. You know, I said that Rudolph.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Rudolph put it up himself.
Yes. So listen.
Thank you.
I'm coming. What I'm trying to say in essence is this. I want to answer the other side of the question, but whether decision to put it up or not, I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to answer the other side. Why we keep allowing someone like one man went to more to common. It's because we don't think that his idea or whatever he has to say is superior to what our arguments here, collectively and otherwise. So blocking him or letting him not come look as if he has such a superior idea and we cannot match his capacity. No, but so it's a public. Hold on, sir. It's a public space. We want to hear everybody's idea, irrespective of how the person sounds or feels. But when it becomes insultive, we will take you out. The only thing is, you see, some of us think that being able to insult people means that we are more capable, better debaters and better, have a better superior, knowledge than the people. It doesn't make you being insulting people and trying to belittle people don't make you better than those people. So that's why it's better to desist from such a thing. And so if you may see the way we are seeing it, we see it as rather trying to display his ignorance of how the world works. because you go. This same thing we are saying here. When we represent our country, we should go with a superior argument, not to go there and begin to cry. Why are you
If I
putting
may,
this? No. Yes, you
thank
may.
you, thank you, sir. You see, I'm afraid all of that was bump for me.
Oh, yeah, I thought you
Excuses.
wanted to say rubbish.
No,
Rubbish.
no, I'll
Okay.
leave it for now. But bump,
Okay.
bump, which is
All right.
like paperwork that I
Okay.
don't really want. Wait, stop saying okay. Let me speak, please. I'm
No,
begging
I'm
you.
allowing you to speak, Najago. Calm down. Calm down.
Okay, I'm calm. Thank you so much. I'm finished with that rant, and let's get back to the show. I was listening intently to what was being said by our Prince Adewale. I really enjoyed the fact that he was a Nigerian in terms of he's knowledgeable about the country. He knows the country very well. I heard all the geography he was giving us, and I don't know the East as much as I know the rest of Nigeria. Even though I've been to the East, I don't know it like he does. I know the North, I know the Middle Belt area, and I know the West. Um, I was really happy to see a Yoruba guy quite knowledgeable about the east of the country and what goes on in the east. But at the same time, you know, there are politicians and there are politicians. For me, he's a politician on the side of business as usual. He's not on the side of any kind of revolutionary thinking. And I believe if you don't have revolutionary thinking as a politician, I can't vote for you. I can't vote for you. What for? All I'm doing is voting for more of the same. I'll just, in this country, I don't vote. I don't vote not because I feel out of the game, but because I've studied politicians, and I feel that what even though I'm not necessarily a guest in this country, I'm a part of this country. But I claim Niger as my heritage and as my nationality. Anybody who's asked me, where are you from? I just tell them Nigeria straight. I don't start telling them like many black people in this country, they'll say, my dad is from Jamaica or my parents are from this place. So which is trying to say, yes, my parents are from there, but I'm from here. Now, for me, that's just a pile of nonsense. You have to own who you are. People that know me, I was speaking to Master yesterday, and I was telling him about so many things that happen in the UK and how the UK hosts are quite accommodative and they're quite good as people. But I don't have any I don't have any English friend, not one. Imagine, I don't have one English friend. I know a lot of English people, but none of them I will count as friends. If you understand me, and it's not because I hate, because I really do like English people. I think their humor is A1. You can't you can't have humor like the British. You can't. The British humor cuts clean through any other American humor or European, wherever. The British humor is for me A1, only seconded by Niger humor. I enjoy Niger humor very much. Now, I'm saying all this to let us know that we share a country. Those of us who are in the diaspora, which as I'm looking at this, apart from the fact that forefathers as Jack Bada for a meanwhile, we're all in the diaspora. And that being the case, we have a knowledge base that is outside of Nigeria. And just in that aspect, it's kind of bigger than Nigeria. And it can see clearly and cleanly. Forefathers described Nigeria as shabby. Yeah, that's a fantastic word for the nature of the country that we come from. It's extremely shabby, extremely dirty, filthy, not incomplete.
All right.
Everywhere is. Wait, Joe. Let me just come to it, please.
Yes,
I want.
please, if you don't mind, so that we can get everyone to talk. But there are plenty of people behind the stage. I mean, backstage. So if you don't mind, go ahead. You
I
have
don't.
1 minute to conclude.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I will come back. I believe what that guy had to pronounce to us was tricky. And if you don't know how to look through the trickiness of politicians, we are destined to make errors that we have made before. I'll end it there.
Thank you so much, Jagun, and I appreciate that. Yes, so Jagun's main point is that look, this guy is not saying anything different from what's going on. What is for me, I will use the word the establishment candidates. That's how they speak, and then when they get in there, nothing is shifted. The same thing, Well, that's his, forefather. What angle do you see it from? Because you were a bit not satisfied with the answers you were giving. So, what's your own way of looking at it?
I think I would take from what Jagu just said about him representing basically the status quo, which is very disappointing because he's also younger. Because of that, let's say he runs against Tinubu, I'll probably choose him because he might change. Tinubu is not going to change in any way. At least there's scope, there's chance for him to at least change some of his stance. And his concluding statement about when they played the video of the Islamist saying that Nigerians should be killed because of offensive words to their religion or their prophets, I find that very alarming. It tells you why I think we don't value life. I don't understand how anybody who wants to run for public office don't understand that a Nigerian life should be sacred, especially if you want to run for presidency. Every life should be sacred. You can't take it for any reason. Only way you can take it is when they break the law. If you break the law and go and take life because they offend your God, you will lose your life. Because that person, people don't understand how important life is. Because to create one life, if you just go back 500 years from now, do you know how many people conspire to create one person? Sometimes up to millions did that to create one person today. It sounds as if it's nothing, but it's a lot of people that created one person. You take that life, and that life part is completely cut off. No other person will come after that person anymore. You think you're going to get away with it because they offend your God that didn't exist before now. No, that is crazy stuff. This is why I believe that any minister that steals from the Nigerian coffers and results in loss of life, like that, I've forgotten her name, that lost her life due to no cobra this in medicine in hospitals. The reason why that is happening is because people don't do their jobs. People are stealing money that was meant to go to healthcare. If I catch you stealing money and you are a minister of health, you will lose your life. Because there are people losing their life every day. I think Chimamanda lost her child recently, and we can't even count how many women lost their lives in delivery rooms in Nigeria. These things are not victimless. And for him to come here and say, you shouldn't have to say something that offends them. Where would you draw the line? If somebody insults your mother, you kill them? That is crazy talk. And that somebody wants to be, I'm sorry, you see, I respect him. He's accomplished a lot, but it's crazy talk. And the standard, this is a problem. When you have such a terrible standard, you should understand that is a serious problem. This is a man that goes to the UK and goes to America where there is freedom of speech. He understands that no matter what you say, you shouldn't lose your life for it. He has seen that. And yet he comes to Nigeria and prescribes something else for us. And I must say, it's not only him that does that. We do that a lot. And when I asked him the question about how do you get our security forces to respond within 5 minutes, you talked about all the compromised security officers and all the rest of it. And I brought him back. How do you get them to respond? He said, we have people everywhere. Where did you get that? Where it's only him I have had said that. Based on the numbers we have, if anybody do the calculation, 250,000 soldiers, check it. If you spread them all over Nigeria, 10-10 or 20-20 in each garrison, see whether they will be able to respond in 5 minutes. No, they won't be able to. They don't have the numbers. And he comes here and tells us that they have people everywhere you can be able to respond. Then why has the problem not been solved all this while? Every time people keep making excuses for things that are not true, that are factually, evidently not true. If you go to Egypt, there's a reason why they have up to 1 million soldiers there. Or Algeria, a country of 30-something million, they have 600 to 700,000 soldiers. Why are they doing it? Are they mad? Why is their country? Why does their country look better than ours? Why does Algeria look better than Nigeria? Even if they and with 30 million, they are still able to afford almost 700,000 soldiers. And he comes here and tells us that we have enough to deal with our problem. Or that somebody told him that the terrorist is there. So if that was how easy it is to take care of terrorists, why is Burkina Faso still fighting terrorists? Why is Nigeria still fighting them? Why is even America? Why is Israel still fighting them? Israel that has the most advanced weapon and willing to use it, by the way, more than most. Why are they still fighting terrorism? I don't understand why our leaders do this to our people. When I hear them talk like that, it fills me with rage. Like, why do you do this? And I also ask him one other question about what conversation does he go there and have with them? Because maybe we should be asking those questions. When you go there, you have conversation. What do you tell them? What do they tell you? It's for, in the spirit of transparency. Let us know what you go there and discuss with them. When you go to America, he said he was in the House of Lords. What does he discuss with them? I don't understand these people. They come to Nigeria and feed us slop, where we just believe nonsense that they give us that is not factually true. How can you come to Nigeria and set a different standard for Nigerian people? That's what drives me crazy. And I also asked him about ECOWAS, whether ECOWAS will form a defense alliance. He said he didn't even address that point, because if we have a defense alliance, what will happen is that there's not going to be any coup in any ECOWAS nation, maybe apart from Nigeria. But any coup that happens in an ECOWAS nation, that is an attack on the nation. You bring that coup down. In other words, you are going to have a stable democratic system in place. You will not have had this military regime you have in Niger, Burkina Faso, all those regimes emerge if you had that kind of arrangement. But yet, these three nations were able to do something that ECOWAS has not been able to accomplish for decades. And he comes into because he didn't address it, so I don't know his position on it. The last time I asked him that question, he said the French was the one blocking it. Why should the French be able to determine what's happening in your own backyard? It's because you are a weak people. You don't defend yourself. Honorary Algeria is picking on the French every single. If you go and check the news now, Algeria is attacking the French every single day. They don't waste time. But yet Nigeria cannot even say, let's form a defense pact amongst ourselves. If France wants to stop you, then tell France, go and renounce your membership of NATO, since you don't like the defense pact. Why is it that it's good for you, but you don't want us to have it? It's like, I'm really disappointed, because I really like the man. It's funny. He engages, he brings himself here. I have to admit that our politicians don't do that. Even labor union leader doesn't even show up here to answer questions amongst the people. So on that part, I give him credit. But man, it just tells you how deep our problem is, because this is one of those few nationalists that we have. He can talk to an Igbo person, he can talk to a northerner, he can talk to a southwesterner, he can talk to a south. He feels like the way he talks, I give him credit for that. He doesn't feel like a tribalist, and that is a big plus in Nigeria. He's not a person that wants to divide people consciously. I don't think he knew that when he said you should not offend people when they could kill you. You should not offend people. I didn't think he knew how incendiary what he was saying was. That is the only thing I will kind of give him room to think about, because you cannot by any means excuse the loss of life because somebody says something offensive. There is no excuse for it.
Can I butt in now? Thank you. You have taken about 7 minutes. All right. Yes. So I hear you, Father. Sorry. No, see it now. I'm timing you, bros. See it. I have it here.
No, it's okay.
All right. Okay. Here. I hear you, and I agree with your, majority of what you said. The one that the one on the religion is even the more frightening one for me. If there's any answer, which I didn't agree with, because in 2007 I did a story of the Yoruba lady who was a teacher in Gombe Government Secondary School, who was killed. She was even pregnant. Even they were looking for a smaller baby to kill, because what was the thing? She stopped a girl from stealing from an exam, and the lady simply said that she had insulted a prophet. Their principal couldn't stop her from being lynched, because the principal intervened and insisted, and they decided to say, look, if you continue, we will finish you and finish her too. So he had to give way. And they called one particular group of people in the town specialized in doing this kind of crime, called the Angel of Death. in Gombe. I'm talking about it. If you search the internet, you can find it. I did the story myself. I'm not talking about this thing. And they burnt her alive. Okay, it was a good Samaritan who quietly removed her smaller baby that was sleeping in the car away. If not, they wanted to, because they eventually ended up burning the car. Okay, and that was a lie. Nobody has been prosecuted to today. That is the situation we find. So when you say people should be you see, that is the very real reason why we need to sit down and recraft our basics for being together, so we know. Because El-Rufai said that Jesus, would have had an affair with Mary Magdalene. Did we kill him? He's still trying to be the president of Nigeria. Are we not more Christians in Nigeria than Muslims? But you can put that statement in the public domain, and he's still walking about today, and nobody is challenging him. Okay, and then the person who talked about Solomon Rushdie, what did he say? He took those verses he wrote. They call it satanic verses. It's from the script. It's from the Quran that he took them out. He didn't take it. He didn't create it himself. So we have been on this issue for long. I think it's time for us to look at it, passionately, and see how we can solve it if we really want to be together as a nation. Thank you so much, Father. Yes, Chim, go ahead.
KJ,
All right.
KJ, before Chim, I really beg your pardon.
No, who is talking? Please, if you can't speak, if you don't have the right.
I'll be 2 seconds.
Chim, please go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, sorry.
Chim,
Can I?
can
No, you can't.
No. We have already given you. Please allow other people so that everybody can get to everybody's turn, if you don't mind. All right, Chim, go ahead.
So please, I hope my time will be reclaimed. So, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've reclaimed your time for you.
All right, let me start with one man. I see he's coming to the show. He's somewhere there. So I want him to know I'm not going to speak behind him. I think Rudolph did a disservice to this platform today and constantly keeps doing that. I wish he was here to answer to see this. You don't project that kind of thing he projected. That is wrong. And as for all this whole, yes, nobody should block anybody. People should. I'm happy he can come here and express his views. He doesn't have any superior view than anyone. If people are really listening to themselves, they'll realize that sometimes they need to go back and do a reality check before they come and talk. So I'll leave that at that. As for our guest today, yes, grateful that he came. But from the first day I've met this man on this platform, I've never been impressed by him. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what impression you guys keep holding, other than he comes here to do a show for us. I'm not impressed by him. I think he's a fraud. He's deceitful. He's not honest. He's not practicable. He's just riding on being intellectually sound to come and talk and all those things. And for those who say he knows Igbo land, he knows absolutely nothing about Igbo land. This is the deceit that people who go into politics play all the time. So if I start mentioning Bandi in Igbo, city names, then they'll say, I know Igbo. I know. No. Listen, the hood does not make the monk. I hope we know that. The hood doesn't make the monk, has never made the monk. For a person in this particular situation, tell me what this man did today when he came to this religious question and what Atiku did. There's one and the same. This tells you he's pandering. He knows that some very deep Islamic people somewhere will be listening. And he's trying to fluff his chances in case tomorrow there's an opportunity for him. Then they'll say, oh, okay, this guy is one of us. He's not one of us. Listen, the problem we have is that we have two laws running Nigeria. There is no basis for anybody to get killed or maimed because they expressed their views. Some people here, and I want to mention them because I don't want to give the person, I've been watching what he's writing, constantly abuses the president of the United States where he lives. He does that all the time. But this person does not see that what he's doing in the US and getting away with it is the same thing this other person has done, albeit in a religious way, and his life is taken from him. I don't know how people reason. And that's the man who is telling us he's a new generation. Which new generation is he? He's a fraud. Sorry to say that, he's a huge fraud. And the thing about him is, if we've not noticed, he's very arrogant and condescending in his responses. He never goes straight to a deal with the issue. He will first look for a way to belittle the person who's asking the question. I've noticed this about him. He does this every time he comes on this show. He does this. If you guys are not paying attention, I pay attention to him. What made me come, I wasn't going to come in, was when he was absorbing himself as an opposition. And I said, what is this man talking about? You're an opposition. The man in office today, like him or hate him, and I'm not his apostle or his fan, but this man, if we're going to evaluate working for where he is, Tinubu worked for where he is. Tinubu put his money, put his mouth where his money is, or however they say it. When CPC and ACN and the disgruntled PDP people were demonstrating under Jonathan, Tinubu took part. He took part in it. But look at all of them, Peter Obi, Atiku, and the man is telling us Tinubu has not committed. Tinubu has committed an offense. The tax law issue, we haven't sorted it out yet. Whether it was doctored or not. I haven't seen any other. I'm going beyond him. That's why I keep mentioning Obi too. None of them has stood up to say, listen, there is a situation going on in this country. We won't let this man get a pass. None of them has gone to the streets to do anything. But this Tinubu and Buhari, they went to the streets. So if we're going to use seriousness of what you want to do as a basis on whether you deserve to be a president, both Obi, both him, both Atiku, both all these ADC people, none of them deserve. As a matter of fact, congratulations to Tinubu ahead of time. I'm sorry to say, congratulations to him ahead of time. That man is going to win the next election. Because all these people calling themselves...
Jim, welcome to the City Boy gang.
Can you please, I'm not even smiling. All of these people who are saying they are running for, they are just selfish people. They're selfish people. Let's be honest. This man cannot be better than Tinubu. The only difference he's going to be is that he's more intellectual. That's the only thing. And he's more articulate. But you see, the articulation he has is even a disservice to us, because this kind of fraudulent people will come into office and do worse. And he's going to be right now a new generation. That's what he's doing. He's no new generation. He is the same of the same. I didn't see anything apart from his being intellectually sound here that he did today. Okay. That's why I came to say, let me ask him. So, okay, if you haven't found any reason to go to the streets, what's his name? Aka, that young man who's been printing and going all over, educating Nigerians on the need for electoral transformation. That guy is doing a better job than these people who are calling themselves so-called opposition. They want to get power without working for it. The guy in the US, from the day he lost the election to Biden, stayed in and continued to hamp until he was able to get back votes and win the election in the last 2024 election. But this is our lazy opposition. Lazy people.
All right.
Without working for it.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. Let me just land on this, sir. Then
land.
Let me just land on that. You can do. And then lastly, I was going to talk about people who are praising our first lady. There is a video there that Rudolph played halfway. I sent it to him. Before anybody starts praising the woman, go and listen to what they were trying to bribe their way through media houses in the US, and people were turning them down.
Oh yes, I have that video.
Yes, please play it so that people will see it.
Unfortunately, the video, I will try and load it again. He refused to load.
No, it's there. I can play it for you if you want. It's there.
I won't mind. These people don't know what goes on behind the scene. And sometimes when we come to talk about it, people think, there's a lot that goes on behind the scene. And I'm not trying to take away from
Mr. Adewole is not any different from the typical Nigerian politician. He is one and the same. He's just trying to cunning his way through. I'm a new breed. And for fun like me, you can't fool me. Sorry. You can't.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate your input. The thing is, sometimes when you listen to these politicians, they sound almost the same. Nobody can take it away from him. He's a very brilliant lawyer. I repeat again, he's a very brilliant lawyer. But that doesn't mean that he understands and maybe be able to solve all the problem. The situation is simply that Nigeria has gone too far away for any one person to be able to, provide solution to it, because the system is skewed against anybody who wants to make a change. I don't even believe, this is my personal belief, I may be wrong, that Obi can solve it. Because where are you going to start? Are you going to start from the military? Are you going to start from... And the non-Nigerians, somehow the opposition have refused to even talk about the subsidy removal, where we are told that once they remove subsidy, everything will be good. Subsidy have been removed. More money is being made from export and import, and yet the people are still suffering. But nobody is willing to say anything. The opposition has even refused to come together. That is even the major thing. Atiku is insisting I must be on the ballot. Everybody wants to be on the ballot. How do you now come together? Listen, in the United States, the last run that they had, once they were able to determine that this man was ahead of all of them, the rest of them queued to help him push it through. And you can see what it is, whether you like it or not. He's implementing what he went to the polls to promise the people, and that's how it should be. But here we are more concerned about individualism. And I want to put on this channel that Atiku is not going to back down, because Atiku is being backed by a very powerful northern general, who has said that all his other generals have become presidents, and that he is too old now to be president. So he is relying on using Atiku to be the one to be in his position, unless they get that guy, which I'm not going to mention his name now, to be able to say, okay, I dropped for Obi. It's not going to happen. And just like Tim said, we are going to have another Ominokum. They will grab it, they will take it, and they will run with it. That's my comment, But
you want the video played for you?
Yes, please play the video.
Growing trend all over the world, including in the United States, but especially in the Middle East. It's been there for a long time. That has gotten worse. Hamas is the quintessential example of that hatred for Jews and for Christians. And then you have a situation like in Nigeria, where more Christians have been killed there than anywhere else in the world. And you have a government in Nigeria that practices denial, a culture of denial. No, nothing to see here. They even hired DC. A big firm here in D.C.
The First Lady was here. She was here this week, and in fact, they wanted to come on the program to talk about religious freedom. And I said, I'm not going to give them. I'll meet with them. I'm happy to meet with anybody.
Same here.
But I'm not going to give them a platform to cover up what they're doing in Nigeria.
And that's just what it is, a massive cover-up. I met with a big delegation that came in, and it went for almost 2 hours. And the Attorney General of Nigeria said that this Bishop Adebayo, who I had at 2 of my hearings, you were there.
He testified right next to me.
Right next to you. A wonderful man. He said, he's a liar. And I said, whoa, stop that, And then they always do the thing, well, my wife's a Christian, or I'm a Christian, and my husband, it's like, don't tell me that. What is happening as churches are being firebombed, people are being killed in cold blood, abductions, which is very, very big there in Nigeria, of Christians especially, but others, but especially Christians. And there's this assault on faith that has gotten worse. Obama did nothing. Boko Haram flourished under his 8 years in office, and now
it was your persistent advocacy that actually eventually got them labeled as a terrorist organization.
Yes. For 3 years we tried, Tony, and I had hearings on it. We had people give very, very compelling testimony as to what Boko Haram was doing, and finally, on the day we were marking up my bill to tell the administration you have to declare them a FTO, foreign terrorist organization, that day, that hour, basically, they said, they're an FTO. Yeah. And it was like 3 years ago, we could have been working to find out where their sources of funding and weapons.
Before they kidnapped many of the girls.
That's right. The Chibok girls and many of the others were all. And that continues to this day.
Let me ask you about that, Congressman Smith, because as you say that it's gotten worse, you've got these dictators and tyrants in different parts of the world. My experience when I was chairing the USERF Commission, going to different countries, is that many of these bad actors have seen what's happened in America over the last 2 decades, where we have gone from one administration that actually, like we have right now, that protects religious freedom, to one that does.
As a 23 years old mother of one, living in Fishman.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jim, for that video. Now, gentlemen, you see, the story is not always as straight as we see it, and as the Nigerian media would like to cut it. But much as that is, these are some of the things that go on behind. And now, of course, you know that a businessman in Nigeria has also hired another PR company in Washington, D.C. to do PR on this Christian Muslim genocide issue. Okay, and they are paying $120,000 a month. Now, that also is there. And see, the problem, the thing they forget is that unlike in Nigeria, in America, these things are not hidden. The moment you sign, you cross the T's and dot the I's, they are free to publish it. They will put it out there for anybody who cares to hear. So they know that these things are there. So thinking that you are hiring a lobbyist and you're going to hide it will never work here. Even the private millionaire from the north who have done that, his name and every of the company this is on the web there, it's out there for anybody who cares to look at it. If there's nothing wrong, you will not be spending all this money, $120,000 a month just to say nothing. So you know that something is there, and whether we like it or not, if you keep living in denial, then that's your business. But for me, I don't think we should continue in that trajectory. Thank you so much. Let me come to Jefferson.
You jumped me over, but it's fine. I take it. I understand this is your show. It's okay.
I don't understand.
You jumped me.
But now it's your turn now. It's your turn now, my brother.
So I'm just correcting you guys now, so it's all right. So my commentary on Prince Adewole seems to be nationalistic, but of course it's obvious that he messed up the whole thing towards the end, because if you notice, Nigeria are not even recovered from it, obviously. A nation where we are still struggling with religious crisis on a very large scale, and obviously ethnic crisis. When Buhari took office 2015, he came with some ideology, called some people dot in the circle, all those things, and it all went, and everybody just went that way, that trajectory. And as it is now, we have not gone any further. You see, and unfortunately, we have been given a pass to our extremists. For instance, if someone is very, very temperamental for maybe his parents, mom, his father, anybody, or for what he stands for, we are currently giving the license. If someone speaks against your faith, carry a gun, carry a knife, kill for the person. I mean, it should call for questioning. And when all these things happen, the victims that have gone through all those pain they continue to, they know they don't have a country, and people will justify why that is done. So for him to say, oh, we need to tolerate, if they say they should tolerate, everybody should tolerate each other too. After all, in terms of Christianity is one of the major religions that have been insulted and bashed on the full scale, especially by our Muslim brothers. Even by the same Muslim brothers they have been speaking against Christianity religion, to the point even the Christians will still tolerate them. And yet, but yet, if someone speaks against a prophet, it gets easily triggered. Now, I'm not going to encourage people to bash anybody's belief. That's left for them. If you looking at the whole political trajectory, everybody's blaming P2B that it doesn't seem serious about doing a protest. It doesn't seem serious about anything, and I disagree with that, because it's the same country where if we still lead a protest, they will call it another thing. The same Nigeria we're in. If today this is a major protest and comes out now today, they will come out and say, oh, he's trying to turn the country or try to turn the country upside down. And mind you, and Obi is someone who is very, very watchful about all these things. He's very, very watchful, of course, when he also suggests to do things different, of course, he gets all manner of names. So it just tells us who we are and where we are as a people, So, I mean, it is what it is. But my own point is that I appreciate his own viewpoint, and unfortunately, in as much as he was also addressing the fact that if the Southeast is complaining about something, it doesn't mean that other regions also complain about the same thing. I totally disagree, because as of 2 weeks, I think just last week, a center that was supposed to be producing Nigerian passports was just closed in Enugu for reasons best known to the Ministry of Interior, which is to say, they feel that a whole region in the Southeast cannot be able to have a center to produce Nigerian passports. You see, it just tells you we have not come out of some certain extremes. As regarding the upcoming 2027 election, I can say one thing, that no one is certain about the next minute. So, for the fact that people are saying, let us warm up for the next 2027 and all that, man, they should worry about, they should think about what they have now.
Okay.
In conclusion, that is where we need, that is the major direction people need to be worried anyways. So I'll just conclude by saying, let us, I don't know, we'll keep on being hopeful. I'm not really excited if this guy is going to take in second tenure, because it will just justify more, it will just justify more callousness in the country. I just hope to get it right.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And justifying what is right is what we are here to try and see how that can be achieved. How can it be achieved to justify things? Mr. Tony, please go ahead.
Greetings, KJ. Greetings, everyone at the platform and those who are listening. My views about Prince Adewale, our guest who came on the first session, is that he spoke like a politician, like a Nigerian politician. He was very, very frank as a politician who is looking for votes, who doesn't want to offend people's sensibilities. And I agree with Chin that he didn't seem to be different as he presented himself. If you look at some of the things he was saying, particularly about his party, he kept on speaking as if he is the one that takes the decision. A couple of times this is what, as if it starts and ends with him. And I find that a little bit uncomfortable, because a political party is made up of people, and there are decision making is not in the purview of just one person. I listened to him before when he was here, and I don't think that he merits to be presented as someone different from all the others. I have checked his background. He speaks well, good lawyer. I don't see any experience in public office upon which you can assess him and say, oh, he was a local government councillor, he did so well, or he was that, even though that's not, there are people who have come from the private sector and did well. But you have to have a baseline, a measure at least, where you can say, okay, if he held this position and he did so well in public service, at least I can assess him. Because when you go look for a job, you have a CV, they're going to look at your CV. And not just looking at your CV, they're going to look at how relevant that CV is in terms of doing the competencies that is required for the job that you're applying for. The issue about religion, is something always very sentimental. Let me say that as a Christian, I don't endorse any act that will lead to the killing of another person, particularly in a democratic country. But I understand what he's saying. I think some of us are just crucifying him. He is saying, if you go to Saudi Arabia, for instance, and you know it's forbidden to drink alcohol, you're not going to go and be drinking alcohol because you have some freedom. That's offensive. You're going to be in trouble. I think that's what he's saying. But he failed to say also that as a person, I don't endorse that type of act. That's where I find him, that's where I fault him, because Atiku did it initially. He condemned the killing of the lady that was stoned to death. And then when he began, people started criticizing him. He deleted it. That's the politician. That's how they behave. That's how they behave. Atiku said nobody should vote for anybody from certain places. They should only vote for him. And yet that's someone who is looking for votes from even those areas where, he said nobody should vote for anybody who comes from that area. So that's the nature of the politician, the Nigerian politician, quote unquote. All they are doing is to sweet talk, and I think he did very well tonight. Sweet talk. Looks like a good guy. Polished and so on and so forth. But it takes much more than that to make a good leader. So for me, I don't think it didn't impress me as an upcoming leader. No, he didn't impress me. But he impressed me as a good talker. Someone that you can present to go and speak for you, but not necessarily someone who I think can achieve anything, because I don't have the basis to assess how well he will perform. So that's my impression. That's my impression of him. I just stopped there so that someone else.
Okay, that's fine. And I hear you. The question of jungle justice, that you don't know where it will stop. If all of us say because our God and Savior is mentioned every time, and we have to take the law into our hands, then at the end, nobody. There's a proverb that says, if you do an eye for an eye, very soon the whole community will be people full of blind people. So I think that for you to say in a country that is secular country, when this is done, the persons must lose their life, it's not justifiable. So we have to decide which one are we following. Are we following the Quran, or we are following the Constitution of Nigeria? If the Constitution is a basic for our unity, then let's use it as a benchmark. But when we say that at certain time that the Quran is higher than the Constitution, then it becomes a problem for everybody, because somebody can just be unjustifiably killed, and they cannot return the person back. I just gave you an example of a secondary school teacher, a woman that was 36 years old, okay, and her life was cut short. The only thing that the Gombe State did was to provide the casket and the bus to convey her to a community somewhere in Ondo or thereabout, to be for burial. No compensation was paid for her till today as I talk to you. I mean, it was a lie.
That is a contradiction that we have in our system. Nigeria is not a secular state. Truth be told, is there in the constitution that is a secular state? But Nigeria is a multi-ethnic. It's not being run as a secular state. It's being run as a multi-ethnic and religious country. That's the truth. So because if you are a secular state, the government has no business to be financing pilgrimage to Mecca or pilgrimage to Jerusalem and be having pilgrims borders. Well, you don't do that. In the place where I am, there's nothing like that in America. You don't do that. So you see, these are some of the contradictions in this system. That's why some people are saying, listen, let us tear down this whole system and begin to build it up, or let everybody go his own way, because you will continue to have this kind of contradictions, because this is a charade. Let me stop there.
Okay, thank you so much. Ovie, I mean the monitor now. You monitor when you do it the way you like. All right. Thank you. If you
just have mercy on us. Wait. Have mercy on us.
No, you are mercy. You are mercy. Ovie, I beg.
I know that. I beg. I beg.
Give me a break, bros. Give me a break. When you do all these things, I'll not stop you. Even can I come here? All right. If can we hear you? Are you ready now? If for us.
KJ, for some reason I can't hear you when you speak.
Oh, but other people can hear me now. If
Yeah.
can you hear me? Yes, let's hear your view, sir, man. Because you have been busy, so I guess you follow the discussion and what Prince Adewale was able to tell us today. What's your own view? I don't know who is helping me to
KJ,
operate.
I can't hear you when you speak, but I can hear others.
So maybe you should log out and log in, Wale, if you can hear me. If you can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
We can hear you, KJ. I can hear you clear.
I hear
Okay,
you.
so go
I
ahead.
hear you.
That guy is not Nigerian enough. That guy is not Nigerian enough. That's why.
Yeah. You are so silly. Okay, good evening. I mean, some of the things he said, I agree, and some of the things he said, I don't agree. Just a typical Nigerian politician, anyway. So, overall, everything, I can't place him different from any of these people. Because the reason why I said that, based on the interview he made on Arise, that if they don't pass the bill, blah, 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 and this will happen. In my mind, I was like, who's going to lead the protest? So these people will promise you heaven and earth, going to tell you everything you want to know. But when it comes to real action, you don't see them there. Chim, I might disagree with Chim a little bit, what he said about I think he said something about the opposition. What's his name? Trump and Biden. That Trump continued to campaign until he won this election. Of all the opposition leaders, I think Obi has been the one person consistent. But the election in Nigeria politics in Nigeria is different from politics in America. At least we have free and fair election here compared to in Nigeria. I don't have, again, I say it again over and over, I don't have anything against Tinubu. But my problem is this: let us have free and fair election. Are we going to have the free and fair election? No. Because if we are going to have a free and fair election, Tinubu, he doesn't need to be doing all these things that he's doing, trying to make Nigeria a one-party system. Let us have a free and fair election. Whoever that wins or whoever that loses, we all will unite together and support the person. But all these things trying to intimidate voters when the election has not even started, I don't get where we are heading to. And again, and that's why I always insist that we need to break up. Abby, you hear me very well. We need to break up. We are not telling ourselves the truth. The better, the earlier we start telling ourselves the truth, the better for us to start moving forward. We can't tell me that in a country of 200 and something million, as of 2026, we still cannot conduct a free and fair election. What is so difficult, or why is it difficult to transmit the result of an election in a real time? If you're not meant to be the president or the governor or the Senate or the House of Rep or the local government chairman, you are not meant to be that. Because what I see is that on the other side, let us start having an election if we can have free and fair election. Forget about voting. We will just say KJ is going to be the president or John Abba is going to be the vice president, and we move from there. So I don't have, again, I say it over and over, I don't have anything against anybody. But the simplest thing we're supposed to do as citizens, we are not doing it. We are being intimidated as citizens. Nothing is moving in Nigeria. Nobody here will tell me that there is something they're benefiting as a citizen of Nigeria. I don't, unless you guys are benefiting something. Nothing, not even electricity. It is in this country that your power minister told you that we are using too much electricity. You can off your refrigerator when you go to work. Are you kidding me? So when I'm leaving in the morning, I turn off my refrigerator. When I come back, I will turn it on. Where does that happen? If I have opportunity, I'm going to ask him the same question. Do you turn your refrigerator off when you leave?
Who will you blame? You blame the interviewer for allowing him to say that kind of nonsense. So.
But I'm even glad that he even said it out, because that's what he has in mind. And this is somebody who will be contesting for governorship election, I think, in Oyo or Ondo State. I can't remember. So you still have the same cycle of foolish people, selfish people, still trying to be politicians in Nigeria. And guess what? We continuously allow these people to use us because that's where we are. The commonest of the basic amenities in 2026, we don't even have it. Let's forget about corruption. And like I said, like I was telling my friend I spoke to regarding the interview this guy made, I said, look, if Bola Tinubu is smart enough, if I were him, knowing that election that brought me into power was flawed, all I should have done or what he should have done is to work for the people, take these first 4 years to work for the people. Then when it comes to the second tenor, everybody will tell the opposition, go and sit down. We don't want you. We want Tinubu to continue. But from the time Tinubu took over up until now, nobody can tell me that there is something that we have benefited. It's just suffering upon suffering upon suffering upon suffering. Tinubu told us when he was campaigning the first election, if I don't give you constant power, don't vote for me. So why are you intimidating people? Why can't you make the election free and fair? That is the only thing I have about. As for Nigerians, and I'm going to repeat it again, please, if you're somewhere tomorrow in Abuja, go out there and support other people. If not, we are not going anywhere. 4 years to come, we will sit down here and say the same thing. 4 years past. Remember where you were 4 years ago. And here we are still talking about the same thing. 4 years to come, we will still here talking about the same thing if we don't do something. Listen to me and listen to me carefully. Look at Namibia. And you know, when you say, people tell you, Namibia is a small country. Look at Paul Kagame. Even though I'm not a fan of his, because to me, that's a military, I consider him a military style of government. But there is constant power. There is water. The basic amenities are there. Look at Tanzania. Look at what this guy is doing. The young guy, I can't remember, the military guy. Look at how he's, changing the face of the country. Even upon all the military coup against him, he's still working for his people. We haven't had war in how many years? And still look at where we are. Look at ordinary Niger. Look at ordinary Senegal. Look at Gambia. When I talk to my co-workers, they will tell you power is the least thing, because they have constant power. And we are giant of Africa, and we don't have anything to boast on. Come on, our first lady came to United States. You see how she was snubbed. You see how she was disgraced. We're not telling ourselves the truth. Tinubu, look at people buying every time. We haven't heard our president address or tell us what his plan is. Instead, Wike is busy rolling out buses for 2027. He's busy fighting Fubara in River State. And guess who is suffering? Me and you. Sometimes I ask myself, is it not the citizens that you are fighting for are the same people supporting these people? And you see, what is this guy from Edo? Oshimolo, busy massaging a 20-something-year-old girl feet in a private jet. And this is a 73-year-old man. Come on, people. I remember when this man used to be the president of the Labour Party. I remember how he was campaigning for workers, and today he has turned to be like a mafian. Look at what is happening in where do we go from here? And if anybody expecting Nigeria to be good or to be better, what I see happening in Nigeria is what is happening in Lagos. Nigeria, shine your eyes, because sooner or later we're gonna have indirectly maybe monarchy system of government in Nigeria, where you have one family rule the country.
Thank you, Ife, and I agree with you. I don't know, those who are thinking that what she's saying, let me tell you something. If the Olosho, the cost of that Olosho is $20,000. $20,000, if you change it into Nigerian money, will fix every problem in the village. I can assure you, $20,000.
You don't carry before. Why you don't know? You don't carry before.
Bro, we do research now. We do research.
We need government funds to do all these things on the faces of Nigerians.
Hold on. This money, if they were taken from their pocket, will not go fine. Because nobody can stop you to spend your legitimate money the way you want it. But when you go and take government funds and you are doing this thing, and people don't even have simple, let me say this again. The little girl, Ifnanya, died of snake anti-snake venom. What anti-snake venom? Yes, in Abuja. In Abuja, not in one local place. In a federal medical center. That should sink in. If that doesn't sink in, I don't know what else will sink in for you. In a federal medical center, one of the biggest hospitals in Abuja, okay, run by expatriates, because I've gone there before. I know the place very well. It's in Jabi Road, okay. It's one of the where you can go to, you get expatriates there, both Nigerians and other people from outside of Nigeria, and yet they could not treat a simple snake bite.
I think KJ, I think it was the first respondent that erred, not I may not blame the hospital entirely, but
No.
the first respondent that is don't have any idea of what to do.
No,
Yes.
no, she didn't waste time. I'm looking at her own account. I'm not talking from what the media
She
is
went
reporting.
to two different, I think it was in the second hospital.
When she got to the first one that was in Lube, they said they didn't have it. She immediately booked and left straight to So it's not a question of, and with that snake bite, okay, you have a 3 hours, 4 hours interval to have some form of medication, which she was within that gauge that should have been able to sort that out, okay. But mismanagement and otherwise, John Abba's brother died from simple hernia, what do you call it, appendicitis operation. So what are we saying here? These are things that you don't even have to put the people to sleep to do it. In other clients, they just do it. The person is still awake, they do it, and you get up and walk away. We need to wake up. I mean, listen. Our president spent 34 billion on tour. We should think about these things. Let it register. Okay. I don't want to give my opinion. Yes, I shouldn't say my opinion. Jonaba, please go ahead.
Good evening, KJ and fellow panelists. I think Prince Adewale is a very knowledgeable uh, uh, person. You know the geopolitics of the world. You cannot underestimate him in terms of his knowledge. First of all, I know people were not happy with his answer to those video that was played by Rudolph. What he do not say is okay. He just say that people should be sensitive. I grew up in the north. Before we go to school, we grew up with Kanuris, some extremists. And my dad told us to stay away from any religious argument with anybody. You do not send us to school to go and argue on any issues, because we move to that place and we find out that they are fanatics. So I think his statement there was clear. It was not endorsing it says okay. It says that people should be sensitive to those things. And that has nothing to do with Nigerian law or Sharia law. It's just an advice that those things
insufficient.
Those things can lead to a people's death. So there is no reason he do not endorse that it's okay that, if you say that you deserve to be dead. So I think we are just reading so many into it that it's not true, that he says okay.
Disagree.
So you can disagree all you want.
Thank
I
you.
don't care. Okay.
I
So
care.
yeah, you care for whatever you care
Jesus
for.
Christ.
And you don't interrupt me again. If not, I will interrupt you when you are talking.
Exactly.
Please do as you please.
Okay.
Jago, stop now.
Can
Jago,
you
stop.
take this guy down, please? If you interrupt me, I'm going to interrupt him.
I
Then
apologize.
me.
Janaba, I apologize.
Okay. Then now his apology is accepted.
John Alba himself.
Yes. So, and then come to, I don't read him. Politician is a politician. He's a smart guy, so he's trying to work on the fine line. And that's what a politician around the world, they're not even Nigerian politicians. They work, and he is very smart in working around. And he knows Nigeria very well. The notion that he doesn't know is not. He defended Peter Obi in his 2 cases in Anambra when he was impeached. You cannot just come and win a case when you don't interact and know the people very well. So you cannot underestimate it. And you should give him credit for even coming here, for his busy schedule, for who he is and all of that. You should give him a lot of credit. If we have all the politicians come here to interrupt with them the way he come and spend countless of hours, I think we'll have a better Nigeria, because we hear from many people that disagree and agree with him. And that is a level of maturity and temperament. It's not easy. You are coming, and it's more pain when you know something better than someone and still argue with you and you still keep your cool. So it's not that easy to even come to this platform. So when somebody comes to our platform like this, we should give that respect for their time and able to answer questions, even maybe it's the way you want it or the way you don't want it. Well, give him the credit for all the hours he has spent with us here, over 6 hours. It worth more than anything else. And I hope all the politicians can come here and answer all those questions or interact with us, where the world can hear us and hear the angers of Nigeria in this small place. And credit to him, has been in so many channels. If you watch front of magazines and all the newspaper of the critics of this government. He walked on the fine line, but he's been open about it. And Nigeria is not, if he's not the person he is, you can't talk what he says. You can't talk like he talk. You can't go to the places he go, and you go back to your house safely. Nigeria is very rugged when it comes to oppression and silencing people. So we give them credit on that line. We don't have to be in the same page in this life, but we all have to understand that people, when they go out there to speak on behalf of the citizen, whatever the literacy they do, they deserve our encouragement. I mean, doesn't mean that we cannot disagree with them, but then we cannot just discourage them and then water down whatever the sacrifice they have made. And I think if we're all making or doing what he's doing, I think Nigeria will be in a better position. And nobody is holding anybody from doing whatever little thing you can do in your little community, and so that we all can build our community to where we expected it to be. It's a responsibility for all Nigerians. It's not that one person come here and then the one person become a lead to everybody because they are running for an office. You also have a responsibility as a citizen to do your own in a little way. Thank you.
Thank you, Janaba. I agree with you totally. Because whether you like it or not, these are major players in the field, and they know the terrain they are dealing with. Yeah, ours is to deduce from what they are saying and what other people are saying, and infer that this what we are saying is probably the right thing to say, but not because we are much on the ground than they are. And so I agree with you. And it's a sacrifice, because we're not paying anybody, just like you here now. We're not paying you to be here. And he left and he sat here for over 6 hours. I don't, for such a man. Mind you, the guy not be saying no get work to do. It's not a layabout. He has a companies and people working under him. So for him to sit down for 6 hours, I think he deserves to be commended. And I agree with your submission. Yes. I see your hand, Wale, but I don't know what. Wale, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Kwabolo.
Sorry, does it mean if it comes like that, we don't have any right to criticize him or to have diverse opinions?
No, but what John is saying is that, look, whether you agree with his view or not, you should commend him first. Yeah, that's what we do in critics.
Nobody's not saying he should be commended. Sorry,
nobody's saying that the guy had tried. Okay, let us encourage him so that others like him can come. If we barrage him and then he goes to tell the people, can you imagine? I was there and look at what they said. Okay, then other people will not want to come. You know,
I didn't watch it. I hope there was no insult. I hope there was no.
You know that some people, when they want to come, they say, "Are you? Is this support diaspora vote? Is it going to be there?" You know they know your names.
But I don't. But when I insult people, I don't insult anybody.
But I'm just simply telling you that your names are known by other people, and sometimes say, "This person, I hope this person is not going to come and." So there are people who they don't want to interact with because of that. So let's just be a bit, Go ahead, Okoblo.
Yeah.
Okoblo, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. There's a saying that goes, if you give a man rope long enough, he will hang himself. And that's what the modern media, the modern media represents. So, but I'm just surprised that it takes 6 hours of conversation before, towards the last question that actually get people to see what is obvious. The guy named Prince is a real prince. I mean, it doesn't get more establishment than that. So I don't know why would I expect anything different. It's an establishment by blood. There's no way it can go contrary to what made him. That's why I frame my question to be generational. Do they have a different vision if they eventually get to power? It goes to people like them KJ, them Rudolph, because now the same generation. Now then go be Minister of Communication, now then go work for it, them, now their generation.
So are you saying that there's nobody good in the establishment?
He's just said it, that leadership is the problem. Let's agree with him, right? If leadership is the problem, right? So you look at it from this perspective. There are leaders who are already in power. Then you pay attention to the emerging ones, those that want power. In the democracy that we practice, there are two currencies that underpin this presidential democracy: money and numbers. That is the people. But if you pay attention, these current leaders that we have and their class have laid more emphasis on money than to spend more time organizing the people. He said that it will take the people to go and protest at the National Assembly for the law to change. I said it's a lie. It takes the emerging elite to go and organize the people, because in the real sense, the people know that much about how the system works. So they refuse to spend time with the people to organize it. Imagine if you lead 1 million protests. They don't need to come to Abuja. Every cities, they go respond. But if you assemble your friends and your church members and your followers and your others, go they shout for Abuja, they go just they laugh. So it is very simple. Until they begin to pay value less to what money can do and what people will do, the system will not change. They will not get power. That's why they resort to what? Turn by turn. He's just waiting. That's why he's saying he's making the people to say now leadership, so that we will keep changing the leadership. But no, if we bring more people into the knowing, the system will collapse. And now the system, now build them, now they protect them. So that's why they don't want to bring more numbers. How many people will be wake up? 6 million. I think we'll not be travel again. So just imagine, they tell us in 90 million have been registered, but 25 million now participate. What happened to remaining 60 million? That's the question we should be asking. None of them is doing the work. They jump from one platform to another. How many of us actually they listen to ourselves? They talk of the Nigerian context. The majority are still on the known. They know. That's why I always use the religious people as an example.
Our electoral
KJ.
Issue. Our electoral system is the major cause. That's why we're not getting results.
I agree with you, but guess what? What you don't understand is that political industry is the only industry that the players, the rivals, come together and write their own rules. Nobody write the rules. Now they come together and write their own rules. Now you are not expecting them to change the rules that will potentially affect them. Because if you look at 2023, Buhari signed some things, some of the amendment into law. How many of them come back? So now, before we can actually achieve that result, people have to be organized. You understand? It is a big change that we are asking for, that we change the status quo, that we change everything, and you mobilize 100,000 people. How many thousand people? Out of 130 million people, and you take those men, then they're not going to stand their ground. So now, common sense. These men are just waiting for their turn. That's why they don't want to go and actually educate the people. It will take them time. They might not even be the beneficiary once, like, imagine is actually, right? half of Nigerians are well interested and educated in politics. We know where they mention all these people name. We not gonna know them. You understand? So they know. That's why they put more emphasis on money. Now money could do everything. Now money could do everything. In the shall say they won't go protect. How many people? How many villages? How many volunteers? They can they boast that they have on ground to tell people how to go? Chim said something, pointed out something very, very important, which is a Peter. That Peter where they shout. Even though you disagree with him, that is a man who is doing his little he can do with the little resources he has. Imagine you have 10,000 Peters. They don't have the money to do that. They have it. But why are they not putting the money towards that direction? But they use that and mobilize people to be their bid. So that's why I asked, just to know where their psyche is. Because the generation that they are insulting, the Tinubu, Obasanjo that we are insulting, they hold the country 60 years. They go back, say they keep on for that long. So them now, if they come, eventually take power, are they going to maintain what we are having today, knowing everything that is happening? With all the baggages that this system brings on corruption, brain drain, terrorism, everything that you can think of is happening under their watch. The man see they talk, say they don't have any idea to even how they go to change them. Because that's what his answer boiled down to. It is leadership, so that we could bring them come. Then if we bring you come, what do you want to do that these people have not done? So again, that's why they always propose solution. You can't take the whole country at large because the instruction that they have built now to protect them. So we could take a small. Take your community, politically speaking. It might take time. But if you have authority over your community, that's where it begins. So and it takes organizing. And as I said, they're in their 50s. So we're not even talking about the obese. These are people, that's why the guy is so eloquent. But we have I noticed one problem here. Him, Okpawolo, and Soludo, what they have in common? The system. Okpawolo is dumb. You know, Sabiri English is stupid. Soludo is too technical. This man is too eloquent. So where the problem lies? I want to believe it's not us because we see through it today. So anybody who is refusing to go back to the community where the numbers are and teach, it don't mean any change. Because if you go back to history, that's how they do them. Donald Trump that we are seeing today, the movement that adopted him, they went back to the traditional system. Radio, community drive movement. Then build them for years until they see person where they speak their language. That's the relationship between Trump and MAGA, because Trump is an establishment. He's part and parcel of them. But there's no way it could be achieving what he's doing if he go the traditional route, go to the established media, established think tank and all that. No, they went back to the grassroots. Somebody said even when they lost, he no greasy then lost. But 2 years after then, he declared that he's going to run. And they started working. So if they want to go protest for Abuja Aksan, how many thousand volunteers? Because now Nigerians, as somebody said, this is a change that affects everybody. This one not being bipartisan now. Now Nigerians get this problem.
Okay.
But they are not letting Nigerians know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I agree with you, Obie. And well, it's not just one road that leads to Lagos. There are many roads that leads to Lagos. Sorry, Jagu, can you put off your mic? I put it off, you put it on, and it's disturbing us. Your mic, Jagu. There are many roads that leads to Lagos. So once somebody is looking at the one coming from Ondo, another person looking for the one coming from Benin, another person looking for the one coming from Benin Republic. But see, so it's a different, it's different approach. But we eventually all get to Lagos. Let us hear from Yakubu. Yakubu came in quite early, and I think he has a lot to say. Yeah, please go ahead, Yakubu. Your time starts now.
Right. Good evening, KJ. Good evening, gentlemen.
Why do you change your
name?
Look
like Gowano, I know lie.
You change your name, Reto. Why you change your name?
Okay, I'll be retro on YouTube, but okay. Yakubu now I prefer to use now.
Is it gone?
Mr. Wale, it's not your time now. It's not your time. It's Yakubu. Yakubu came in before you. At least I know that very well.
Good evening, KJ. Good evening, gentlemen. Okpebolo, I know say Monday Okpebolo he dull, but he go know say you spell his name wrong.
Dead guy.
If he look your page now, he go see say he spell his name wrong. At least he know that one.
All of us don't know book. All of you know, that's why they support him. All of us don't know book. You see, I can relate to him. All of us now dummy. People don't want to see that. I cannot vote against my interest. Now, all don't like me, I go support. I can only support only like me. Thank you, Yakubu. Thank you for saying that.
So I just joke.
No, I like that because it people up till now, man. Now today, some people see that thing, right?
Yeah.
Because they try let them know that I cannot vote against my interest. I'm also a dummy like him, but they say make I vote against. Make I go vote somebody they speak English that everybody not disagree with.
Okay,
I mean,
Yakubu,
it's a common sense
taking your time. They are taking your time, so don't go and tell me that your time.
Gentlemen, you see, the truth of the matter is, I don't ask myself. I've been asking myself, like, what is really the issue with Nigeria? Because if you ask, some people will tell you it's leadership, others will tell you it's followership. Kudos, I mean, respect to Prince Adebayo. You know, he came in today and he did his best, which is good. You know, but he, as far as I'm concerned, he is part of, just like we all are, part of the problem. You know, because since 1960, we've been going around the same issue. We've been toiling around the same situation, and we've not dug ourselves out of that pit. And what is that situation? Just to make the country a place where people can live and be happy. That is all. Make this country a place where people can live and be happy. Nothing more pretentious. The military, they came, they did their best. The civilians, they've been in and out, still, haggling with, the situation. And what amazes me every time is the fact that these people, whenever they want to lie, let me use that term now. Whenever they want to lie, they now want to refer to what happens in America. In America, this, in America, that. But when it comes to doing those things that matter, like take for instance the case of Ifunanya Nwangene. Look at this girl. This girl came to a hospital that, according to KG, is run by expatriates and Nigerians together. Yet, this girl died from a simple snake bite. And all the Senate president could say was that I'm giving an order for anti-venom vaccine to be distributed. It was, and nobody came out to say, Ifunaya's matters. Nobody. Because as far as I'm concerned, if that happened in America, Nigerians will have trooped out in Lagos, in Abuja, to say Ifunaya's life matter because it happened in America. But it happened right here in our doorstep. Right here in our doorstep, in the middle of the country, not far away from Aso Rock, a few kilometers from the National Assembly, where Akpabio was giving that order. Yet nobody came out to say Ifunaya's life matters. Now, stemming from that is exactly what we are going to encounter after 2027. Because all I've seen from 1979 up to 2026 is a repeat, a loop of everything wrong. It is either the election, there was an issue, a glitch. It's either there was money that was budgeted and it was not expended. It is either some people were arraigned in court for corruption. It is either, the normal, like the other day when some the issue of Kwara State came up, the war killing came up, and it coincided with the day that the e-transmission debate was going up at the National Assembly. And I asked myself, I said, is this a pattern? Why are we having vicious killing that is capable of turning every sane person insane right at about the same time that these guys want to make sure that e-transmission does not pass? What was the idea behind that? Was that a deflection? Was that a distraction? Was that a diversion? Was it deliberate? Does it mean that there's, like we keep saying, these guys actually are sponsoring these killings? Are they a pair? Killing and politics? Is that what it is now? Because the truth be told, it will not stop. It will not stop. These guys eventually will get what they want and nothing will happen. And eventually, this election will take place in 2027 and there won't be any transmission. There will be a glitch and nothing will happen. What we have right now is the wild, wild west. And I now imagine the way Nigerians are taking the whole thing. All they are interested in it. As long as me and my family were fine, well, the others can manage. Yeah, they can manage. It hasn't reached us. One thing that got me thinking the other day was that war of killing. Someone said, it will soon get to the southwest. As if the southwest was another country that was going to be invaded. I was like, what is this rubbish talk? It hasn't reached our door. Our what? Are you mad? So it's not ours and theirs? We're talking one whole country. It hasn't divided yet. Well, if someone is, saying we should, whatever, go separate ways, it's still not a bad idea. After all, 2014 and 1914 is 100 years. Yeah, there's a fusion of time, of course. But if we choose to continue, then we should make a better use of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Yakubu, I didn't want to stop you, but your time is up to 8 minutes, so I needed to stop. All right. Now, you see,
Yakubu, why are you in 1950s black and white?
That's his choice now.
Okay, so now, guys, it's Yakubu one grandson.
If you look at my YouTube page, my name is Retro. So I like to think about the past.
Hello, guys.
And then I pause and then I reflect.
Calm down.
Nice one.
He's trying to disguise his Yakubu Gowon's grandson.
Calm down. Okay, now here is what I want to leave you with. The amalgamation of Nigeria took place in 1914 with our founding fathers, right? Who signed? Nnamdi Azikiwe was born at what age? What age was Adewole born? What age was the Sada of Sokoto born? Who are those who entered into this agreement? There are many issues that can be discussed when it has to do with this. But let's, come down to what even Yakubu has put on the ground. Okay? And somebody is already running to go and say snakes buy people in the United States. Yes, we have the statistics. Snake buy people in the United States. Of 250 million Americans, the snake bite occurs between 7,000 to 8,000 people a year.
But they have 911 day.
Hold on.
We have 911 in Nigeria.
Hold on now. I mean, they bring the information. Let me talk now. Now, out of that number, only about 7 to 10 die. Okay? So don't tell us about America.
No, KJ, to be fair, in Nigeria, do that statistics for Nigeria. How many died, how many have the bite, and how many died? Do same for Nigeria.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
Are you for real?
No, yes. To be balance. Use the same. No. To be fair, use the same standard. To be fair, use the same standard.
Out of one, how many are we? 230 million people. We snake kill more than 50,000 people a year in Nigeria.
You
don't know that.
Wait, hold on. Where are you getting the stats from now? Are you reading it?
Wait, you don't even need to go far. You see, because of this story now, I did a story once in Gombe. Okay, there's a snake.
Bros,
There's a
hold on. You just read
hold
America
on now. You
statistic.
asked me a question. You don't want. Okay, if you know this, answer it now.
You are derailing. Hold on. You just asked question from. You gave American
answer. Okay, answer it.
When
When you speaking there, I'll talk.
use the same for Nigeria. Where do you get your statistics from? You said no. I should go to. You wrote a one. No. The statistics you use in America, or you read it from somewhere?
Because
Nigeria's one. Okay.
The Nigerian statistics is not there because not every snake bite is recorded in Nigeria. That is one. Two, there are villages that are known that the people suffer. Each one of them suffer from snake bite almost on daily basis, and that village is in Gombe, where you have the snake hospital, because the snake was so prevalent. They have a place where people go to treat for it.
Okay,
it's almost as common as everyday occurrence.
So
and
how many have died? How many have died now? How many have died?
Okay, I'll leave that to stay humble when he gets to his turn. You answer you. Let's move on. Because I think you just want to waste our time,
No,
all right.
Your time.
Well, that's what you want to do, because you are not seeking for information. You see, this is just what Yakubu said here. When we do, we will say America, 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 America. But we don't, even a simple basic thing. And we're not talking about local hospital here, we're talking about national hospital. It's called Federal Medical Center. It's a specialist hospital in Abuja. Okay? For under no reason should this kind of thing happen. But now look at, you're trying to absorb us from this this nonsense.
No.
The mere fact that we're even discussing it and you are putting up an argument means that you are even accepting it as something that should happen.
KJ, hold on. KJ, sorry, let me tell you the truth. The problem of that gas is not even the antivenom. For me, it is negligence. How to first responder, how to attend to emergency situation that killed the girl. Not even before the girl even died before you got to that venom part. It's responding how to manage crisis was the problem.
Local P, take rapper, tie nyash, tie rapper. It not be the same thing.
Okay, no wahala. Continue. We cannot disturb every other person. No worries.
All right. Wale, go ahead, please.
God, let me say it, KJ. Which kind of I never heard that one before, KJ. This is my first time.
It's a Yoruba adage. It's one of those. I think it's in our husband had gone mad again. I think that's why it is. One of those. We have. Look, Nigeria don't spoil. I'm telling you.
The only one I hear that for
those writers are no longer available. These are writers. If you get knowledge when you finish reading them.
No, they are some.
Fella say anything when you they do the street.
Put Gary for water, put water for Gary. Tired up for goods.
It's Olaro to me. It's Olaro to me.
Why not? Let Wale speak so that people can speak and go to bed. Civility matters.
Take it easy. We're not here to this. Go ahead.
I apologize.
Still part of
your paper, brother. I apologize. Stay humble because they pay me too.
It's okay. I greet everyone and thank you for everyone who has spoken one way or the other. First of all, let me say my own mind regarding the guest. It's not easy to come to a platform and say the gospels, the criticism. That's why when I look at this platform, I look at the numbers and I always wonder why the numbers never grow or this why. See, as much as we all think we love Nigeria, sometimes if you understand Nigeria, that means it's not well explained to you. Because let's look at it from the platform here. Let's say this is the country, all of us here. See how we dwell on the problem. Sometimes we don't even come up with the solution. When we come up with solution, this one will say, no, I agree with it. I also don't agree with it. Now, how can that country even move forward? All of us are not going to be experts. Some people will be expert in certain area. Some people will be good in communication. Some people will be good in technical aspect of it. How can we not identify who is good at what? Instead of saying, oh, that person is from that one, that religion says the, like the man said, look, there are so many bigotry when it comes to religion. And that make me think inward and say, wait, as religions as Nigeria is, what is happening? Is that land blessed with cursed people? Because if you look at that land, nothing you are looking for in this world that you don't find in Nigeria. Resources or human or, but then the people are living in the ocean, but they are still washing their hands with saliva. It makes me think. Okay, Mr. Rudolph did one video last week, come out with the snow and say, look at the snow. You that you ran away from your village people or your brother, you are now here, packing snow. So things like that, does it even make us think? Who are we? And for those who are religious, maybe in the Bible, it take me back to when the Israelites were in Egypt. Who maybe God sent to rescue them? It was Moses. Moses grew up in the palace. Now, the question I could ask myself now is, who can actually lead Nigeria out of this problem we found ourselves? Is it Peter Obi? If he is, and he become president for 4 years or 8 years or whatever, when he leave, well, after his own rule, what is going to happen? We'll go back to Egypt. It just take one idiot again to take us back. Or is it Tinubu that will continue? And if Tinubu is even going to continue, these people, are they going to live forever? If you're a Christian, has it occurred to anybody that look at the food gathering the whole world? Would I even know who is going to spend it? Was Tinubu not during Buhari's burial? What does he taking with him? And he's still living the same thing. All of us, we are here. It just make me think, who are we? What are we? What do we even want? We will argue this week. We will talk about it. Does it move us anyway? Yes, we are abroad. The light is there. This is there. But do we even think for once, every Nigerians, even the unborn, selfish? Well, it's human nature. But to me, I'm thinking, if I'm accusing that person, Tinubu or whoever is in government, that they are not doing well, I asked him one question one time ago. I said, if my uncle stole money to raise me, send me to, best school, and it got to a time when my uncle got arrested and it has to be, well, maybe I'm a judge. Will I send him to prison or will I crucify him? Remember, I've benefited from the money he stole one way or the other. So until we all ask ourselves, all these government officials are coming to abroad to buy property, to spend money, they did it, well, most of the time, they will do it through us, either directly or indirectly. So until we all look inward and say, what am I doing in my own little village, in my own little community that is actually even destroying the country one way or the other? Until that, we will continue to run till Jesus comes. Honestly, nothing will change. Problem will continue to be on problem. Yeah, we are talking of electoral transmission. But how can we in 2026 still be thinking backward of what of the age where, honestly, if they tell you about Nigeria and you say you understand, you just continue headache. But what I would say is, on this platform, let us think to ourselves. Yes, we might be okay, but the people will leave behind. One way or the other, it will affect us, because either your cousin or your uncle or your dad or your parent or your brother, they will ask you for money. You know how you get your money here. No short. Well, I don't know many people. Unless that man that said, whoever the person who is worse than Tinubu is Babangida. I could remember that playback every time this program start. Now he gave $2 or £2, despite every, oh God, and then because he gave £2, you posted that one. That honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Nigeria is just, I don't. I rest. Honestly, it's good to listen to people. I like to listen to people. I'll pick the sensible one, the one that doesn't make sense. I'll just be like, well, the person actually say the kind of person they are. Because if you come on the platform here and you can't make sense or you can't think deep before you utter a statement or you say something out, it tells me what kind of leaders we're going to get. when they put you in there as a local government chairman or in a parastatal or something, what are you going to do if your own brother is the one doing something without consequence and you can't really blame him? So let us think to ourselves, what is making this country we all run to? What makes it better? It's not that they are saint, but
Okay.
there is
Wale, I want to understand you. So what are you saying basically? That we are not saying what the people are saying, or we are not understanding what the people are understanding? What exactly is you are driving? Because are we belittling them? Are we taking ourselves away from the Nigerian society? Are we taking ourselves away from the problem because we are not in Nigeria? What are you saying?
Thank you, KJ. We do. And to be honest with you, there are some sensible people on this platform that I love to listen to them when they talk. I don't even interrupt them. I just pick their sensible contribution. I know it's not easy for you to say this is the solution. Some people will still say, no, that's not the solution. But at least if we are all sensible enough to say, wait, how many rooms am I going to, sleep in? If our president could spend 34 billion and some people are still justifying it, then you now ask yourself, Buhari went to London. Is it London? He always treat his hearing aid. Why can't they have hospital? How many times Boris Johnson or the Prime Minister of UK have traveled anywhere? So people will still say the truth, but the people who are benefiting from that corruption, from the estacos, from whatever they are getting, that is, that crumb. You, KJ, will say, yes, you've worked, in the media, you know how these people spend the money. You could have enriched yourself with a brand envelope if they give you one. Rudolph could have, done something. But people will still say truth and say, look, no matter what, my integrity, my value matters. Some people, they can sell their mother because of little money. So when people that come to this platform speak the truth, yes, they might be tempted and fall for it. They are human beings. But as much as we all know that there is consequence for our action
I think you made yourself more clearer, but I want to also put this as just as a caveat. Anybody who leaves Nigeria and come abroad, not because they are more honest than those sitting back. And I'm not saying that everybody who's out there is not honest, but I'm simply saying that most of the people who are here have the opportunity to be able to tag along and make their life better with the national largesse going on. But they choose to work with their hand, their brain, and whatever, and be paid. In fact, one of the reasons why we come abroad is because you can work and be paid. You don't have to go beg anybody for your money to be paid to you once you have done the job. But we can tag along with our friends, our uncles, our relatives, and still be part of those milking the cow. We just don't want to milk the cow. If not, some of us, the Senate president will know him very, very well. Some of the governors will know very well. Some of those ministers will know very well. But how long shall we continue to play the same thing and then get a better result? So it's better, that everybody is invited and we all put our hands and build, and then we can all get better, remuneration for our labor. Unfortunately, the few are not agreeing. And that's why we can have a young girl, leg being robbed by a 75 years old man, and they say it's AI. But whatever it is, I'll leave it at that. Let me go on to talk with the man who may give us, the man who may give us solution to it, because I hear they are related somehow. Support the electoral voting and Oshomole are almost from the same relatives. So let us hear whether that's the way they do it in their community, because they have been supporting the move that the man made. He said they should allow him to enjoy himself. So let us hear. Hold on, Wale, hold on. That's voting has to tell us what is going on.
Something, KJ, nothing to do with the man. What I want is just a little advice, please, if you can. You see, this is a good.
Almost 10 minutes now. You have spoken longer than every other person.
This is a good platform, but it's not reaching out as I expect it to be. Please,
it's not reaching out because of the algorithm, not because we are not doing this thing. This platform and my good general are not as, I don't know, for one reason or the other, are keeping us content, and we don't want to bother ourselves about that. So someday, one day they will let it go. So all right, move on.
Thank everybody for the platform. Mr. Wale, for what you just said last year, do you know your country by now? It's only what doesn't make sense that goes viral. You understand? If we start talking about politics here not supporting one party or doing tribal whatever, yeah, you start it's going viral. You understand? So whatever makes sense. Trust me, Nigeria. I don't know if we are wired in the kind of way that majority of Nigerians. I don't think sometimes that's why I don't pity for them. If you see what I put there, suffocate the poor. Don't let the poor breathe because these poor people most times they're the people that have caused this problem. Because you think you are fighting for them, but they think one way. You understand? So churches are growing in Nigeria every day, and still we're having worse problems. So that's tell you the way they think and the way they're wired in Nigeria is just different. So like what KJ said, the algorithm, yeah, that's why we encourage people to like and share so that the algorithm will pick up what we are doing here to reach out. And when you say sometimes solution don't come from here, yeah, it's because here it's not like a parliamentary system where we do votes where we have the ayes and the nays. If not, would have maybe say this is the ayes, the has have it. Then as a platform, we'll put it out there. This is what we're saying. But because it's here is say what's it called? Have your say. You understand? And you just everybody make your opinion. There's the listeners make your opinion about what we're saying, not everybody coming to have one particular say. And that's why you're seeing what you're saying. So that's for that. For Mr. KJ, even for Bible self, I think there was a time where they say they use one small virgin, small girl, go heal one prophet, something like that in your Bible. So for me, as far as both of them are adults, you understand that, and it's consensual. I bet just leave them. The most important is the joy, the heart is happy, and they are okay. That is because they're both adults, you understand. But the only thing that you may frown against is if it's not his wife, and he's from Auchi. I think it's from Edo North. Okay, he's not a Muslim, probably, but Nigeria probably is allowed to practice polygamy. I don't know, so whatever. So it's only moral justice that can condemn him. But when it comes to criminal crime or whatever, I think it's good to go for that. So anyways, for this guy the Prince that came here, I didn't listen to him. Why? Because I think he's still going to say what he normally says in the past. It's still the same thing. Trust me, the guy is intellectual, the guy is a good orator and what have you. But so are many politicians in Nigeria. If you bring them to this platform, if they speak to you from their hearts, you see that they have. We've seen Oshomole. This is Oshomole talking about. Sometimes when he wants to do his job in the House of in the Senate, you see him speaking well, accusing the Senate, whatever this they're lacking here. They know what they want. These guys are not illiterate. They went to school for Canada and they're graduates. You understand? They know what they are doing. It's just that they don't just want to do it. Like Nigerians' problem, Nigeria, they have the laws. Our problem in Nigeria is implementation. Nobody wants to implement doing the right thing. Nobody wants to take punishment for doing the wrong thing. You understand? If we are being punished for doing the wrong thing, whether immoral or criminal, I think Nigeria will sit their ass upright. You understand? So our problem is implementation. Even if this whatever reform you are saying they want to, you say they should put what's it called electoral reform, they should put real-time transmission of results. My brother, in the back end is somebody that's going to control it. You understand? You can put it up there right now and they tell you server down. You understand? It's still is that there's this human factor, this implementation by humans that is the problem. For me, I don't see anything bad in the last election. You understand? If only for the fact that, okay, let's use the Abia State for instance. Why didn't the bad electoral system affected the Abia State results? But the person handling it, the woman, they're like, no, I die here. The right thing must be done. There's no computer to say no, it's computer that will correct it or whatever. No, it's a human factor. That human factor that's always been Nigeria's problem from the get-go. And because people don't get punished for bad behavior, we've been rewarded for anyhowness in this country because we've seen the reward. People the other day, Dino Milai came up with his smelling mouth saying Nigerians politicians are wasteful. Meanwhile, you park like 10 cars that you don't even drive in your house, Ferrari, you don't drive in your compound. You are telling politicians are wasteful. Meanwhile, you're own part of them. So because we don't get punished, we don't even get called out for bad behavior. Like what they said, because they said if your uncle stole money and he trained you abroad, if you're a judge, will you call him out? Maybe morally or conscious, but you say no. But if you want justice to be served, why not just call him out? If you really want, if you truly stand for justice, what is there? Because if you call your uncle out, your uncle will know. It will pain him. Are you where I train? I bet you do your job, Sha. You understand? Because it's doing your job that's the problem. Because we're not doing our job, that's why we're where we are. So for the guy that came, he can say whatever I want to say. For me, same thing with the politicians. So whatever we talk here tomorrow, not to happen unless we act. You understand? And like what somebody said, they won't blame that. They won't blame their error, because if by that time they were having people like Peter Aka, maybe Precious, people like Aisha Yusuf, maybe Very Dark Man or whoever. What's it called? What's this guy again? Forget one guy's name. If they have them in their time, maybe before you go to this time, we would have had hundreds of them. But because in that time they sat back doing nothing, they didn't act. You understand? Hence we are where we are today. That's why I'm begging everybody. Look, we in diaspora, yeah. It's our country. In your country, in where you are right now, immigration policies are changing. You know, where you are right now, immigration policies are changing. Even the America where most of you are living, they will tell you ICE is catching, whether you are black or anybody, don't care, catch you. You understand? If you don't get luck, you go back to your country. If you get luck, you remain there. You understand? So the policies are changing every day in this Western world. So that's why I'm begging. Before you can't get to the way you say Yaba can gas, we're going to say, hey, I didn't know. We would have helped build our country back, or at least sacrifice ourselves, do something. Even if we cannot go back, we have consulates here, wherever we are. We can start from there first so that they can hear. You understand? No matter, even if we fail the first day, continue. Whatever these people are doing, like this Peter Aka you're talking about right now, he started the first time, yeah? Nobody listened. But consistency, look at now, you now have a voice. He missed one man riot. He was doing the consistent, going to platform, speaking consistently. Even if the bashes is getting, he still stood on his ground. And look at where he is right now. Same template, easy. Consistency. If we in diaspora decide to do something, come together as a collective, go to various consulates, embassies, do something there. They push us the first day, no problem. Go there on that day. Even if you were doing one hour or 2 hours of 24 hours, because we are really looking for something to do for our country. I don't see what it will take from us. But we are just so docile, lazy. We believe in this I better pass my neighbor. We are so much, we do like comfort. Nobody wants to just displace himself or herself for 1 minute, for one reason. Everybody just want to chill, big boy. You know, I beg also get my money, build house or drive better car or wear better clothes or go to a party and be showing that I have money more than my neighbor. The same I better pass my neighbor syndrome. That's what is just part of our problem too. Until we change our psyche, we have to change our psyche, change it. Nothing will happen to us. Kenya did it now. Even if Kenya did it, imagine we have Nigerians do half of what Kenya did. What will happen? Half of what Kenya did with the kind of mind that we have. But nobody is ready because everybody has some spot. You can go to online right now, do content online. YouTube, Facebook is paying you. You don't want to fight again now because you can buy us a lucky big boy. You don't come out yourself from Nigerian problem. So the rest of the poor should go and solve their problem. Not mean that a day that will come where Yawa go gas, no matter your money, it will touch everybody. But until that day, or before you get to that day, please, we should play these chairs with them, look at the future. This is what is imminent if we don't do act immediately. You understand? Whether we're in diaspora, because we come here talk from now to tomorrow, these guys, their hearts don't cross. There's nothing that's going to change. You understand? So we have to do something. Now that we still have the finance, power, and energy, we are still young to do something in diaspora, please, let's do it. Time is fast spent. Time is running out. We're running out of time.
Okay, thank you so much. And that's what I said earlier when I started, that we are still doing local this thing when the world is moving so fast and moving away from us. And a particular man, I don't want to mention his name, said that the problem with Nigeria is that we think everything is sketch. We like to make sketches and laugh about everything, but and we are truly always laughing, and making sketches, and that's all. Even the snake bite has turned to a sketch now. They're making up and down. Nobody brings in a serious discussion that will turn around. And then the Senate president, who is a jester himself, I think the only thing that he didn't do was to have been given a role in Macbeth or one of those Shakespearean stories. Calls and says I order. I order. That's all that you see. Let me tell you, I've come to a place of frustration, and I was discussing this with Rudolph, and I said I wanted to step back from this program, and he said, well, we can't do much than talk, because you find out that people, ADC went to campaign in Lagos, Lagos poor people from Ajegule and all the other places, all the slums, gathered in the street and told them not to campaign, tore down everything, and tell them to leave Lagos. They are satisfied with how things are going. These are the same people we are here sitting and fighting for. And then when you see that, what do you do? What do you say? People go and gather in Abuja and say, look, leave Abuja for us. We are satisfied with what Wike is doing. We are satisfied with what Wike is doing. Okay? So how do you now change a system where the people who have been oppressed are so happy being oppressed by the oppressor? That's a question that I would bring. Jefferson is gone off. Yeah, Jabu can go ahead and answer that question. Why Jefferson rebukes?
I'm here.
Oh yeah, I can't see you, Jefferson. Are you there?
Yeah, Jefferson is after me actually because I was the first in the studio, so I know that Jefferson is after I.
No, I came before you, Jago. Maybe you didn't know
Bro,
I was.
No. You see, when what happened, Jefferson, is on the last show, Rudolph placed the link to here, so I touched it and I left it there. So I was on. I saw that I was the first person here, but nevertheless, thank you again. It was over an hour ago since I last spoke, and there's something I missed. For the wisdom of us as a collective, if I may answer this firstly, KJ, the Prince came on and said, if you are in an area where it's predominantly Muslim, to insult the Prophet is suicide. Fair statement, but it wasn't conclusive. The conclusion is, if now somebody insults or upsets the Islamic rhetoric somehow, and he's accosted and killed, who's responsible for that death or for those deaths? This is where we still have to think this through out. I'm not happy with the way we reason sometimes. Who is responsible for that death if it occurs? Is it that they commit suicide for real, and that's the end? That the government themselves will say that this person was idiotic to pronounce these things against Islam, so he deserves death or she deserves death? Or is somebody going to pay for the crime that they have committed? This is the issue in any modern society. But somehow we can forget that these things lead to something, and somebody needs to answer or pay for their crime. When he spoke, nobody saw that. What I wrote when he spoke that thing, I said, violence is king. That's what I wrote down. Violence is king. If you can do violence, in Nigeria, you can more likely get away with it. And that's the process of a politician. I don't think we think. I'm not really happy with the way we negotiate, with the way we confront each other about issues, take things personally. Oh, this person is rude. Oh, that person is this. Stupidly, as though we can't think. I mean, I'm always disgusted by the way we communicate. I'm not at all satisfied with our communication level at all. I beg your pardon, KJ. Can you quickly re-answer your question? I beg your pardon. I've had that on my mind for about an hour, so I wanted to say.
Can I do what, sir? I didn't get you.
Just reiterate your question.
Which of the questions? I've asked many questions.
No, the one you put to me to answer just now. I beg your pardon. I didn't hear it fully. Oh, you can't remember.
I can't remember.
Okay. I'll just continue like this before I get off. It was Wale who explained that we don't have solutions on this channel. Me personally, I think if you've been on this channel long enough, you would understand that there are no solutions to be had here. I was always frustrated when I first came on a couple of years back that we aren't speaking about solutions, we aren't organizing ourselves, we aren't becoming a force to be reckoned with within the Nigerian political space, especially political space. And once I understand that, you know what, there are no solutions here. That's not what this is about. And we are here just to communicate. It's unfortunate in many ways that we're here just to communicate, because there are many people on the platform here that have prowess in thinking. Many of them we've actually lost. They've left us and they're not coming back. Me personally, I've left the station before on occasion, just through frustration. Having said that, can any of us really think that Nigeria is going anywhere without a revolution? Is it going anywhere? Let's just be frank. Forget about people who speak eloquently and all these things that we like or seem to like. Can we see Nigeria going anywhere? Because me personally, right now, I see Nigeria is doomed. The more we go forward, is the more unclear things become. Tinubu has let the French back in through the back door as far as the Sahel is concerned. The Americans are doing a job in Nigeria which the Nigerians can and are supposed to have done. We have left our authority, our dignity, and our responsibility to others. And in my parents' generation, this wasn't a thing. In the generation that fell below, come after my parents, it became a thing. In my generation, most of us don't give a damn. In the generation that follows, they are of a new thinking entirely, where the machinations of the country isn't fully understood, and they are so disenfranchised that they don't have their feelers on what is genuinely really taking place in the nation. So how they're going to navigate or manipulate their way into the future, I just don't know. I believe that we've done an awfully bad job. When I say all, when I say we, I mean all of us. As I said the other day, my failure in life is the same failures as Nigeria. I've tracked myself. I know where I've experienced a lot of success and successes, and I know where there's been major failures in my own life. Now, I don't necessarily blame Nigeria for that, but I do say that we as Nigerians are on the same trajectory as Nigeria itself. And I'm wondering if we can be honest enough to look at that aspect within ourselves as individuals. I'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you, Jagu. Yeah, are we? You see, this issue of Nigeria is everywhere, honestly. Because what are we really building? Are we really building a nation? Are we sincere in what we are doing? What is the, you can look at it from everywhere, and we are everywhere, and we are nowhere. That's the truth. Nobody seems to be coming together. There's no, converging point, like what you call a muster point. There's no muster point in Nigeria. So everything is flying everywhere, this person wakes up today, I wanted to ask him a question. And the question I wanted to ask him was this: why is the Southerner of Sokoto more important in rank than the Alafin of Oyo? If it's not, how come Southerner of Sokoto, is the chairman of all the traditional council in Nigeria and has been so since Nigeria was formed? Why?
I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why, KJ. The reason why is because the British made their agreement with the Sokoto Sultanate. That's why.
I know that agreement was made, and I have done the research to that, find out that the scepter is still in the Southerner of Sokoto's palace. But the truth is, why don't we make our own rule? Because we know that, why do we have to keep up with that? Then we can as well go back to the colonial rules, and then
AJ, it's not also correct that the Sultan of Sokoto is more important than any other first class king. In Nigeria, we have what we call first class king. They are all equal. Oba of Benin, Sultan of Sokoto, Oni of Ife. There are a couple of them. High profile king in Nigeria, they are all first class. They are in the same category.
No,
Well,
you are not. You are not doing
KJ,
this
you're not.
again.
KJ, I'm
Hold on.
afraid you're. KJ, I'm afraid you're. I'm sorry, not KJ. AY, you're not speaking the truth. AY, you are not speaking the truth. Wait. AY, you see, we all know the truth. You're not coming here to tell us anything. All you're doing is parroting and nonsense based on Islam.
No.
Yes, you are. There's no way you could say that. If you believe, no, wait, KJ, let me put it to you. Let me put it to you. Let me put it to you like this, KJ. What I'm saying is that there is no way. There is no way you believe what you're saying if you're telling us the truth. The Sultan of Sokoto is easily ahead. There's a photograph that was taken when Prince Charles last visited Nigeria. Prince Charles is in front, and directly behind him is the Sultan of Sokoto. Directly behind him is the Alaafin. Directly behind him is the Oba of Benin, and then behind him are the Igbo
let me
notoriety.
explain
That picture tells you what Nigeria is.
Let me
What
explain.
Nigeria is.
Let me explain.
I don't know why AY would say. I don't know why you would say something like that.
Sultan can be deposed.
Let me explain.
Remember that
the
a sultan can be deposed.
Jago, it's you.
A sultan has been deposed before.
Sorry,
yes, but the position not mean
all traditional head can be disposed. All.
Yeah. Exactly. So for me, I don't think there's relevance in the hierarchy here. The relevance here is should they be given a constitutional role to play because of their closeness to the community?
Yes, that is the big question.
Should that be a debate in the National Assembly?
To be given that role, but unfortunately, they seem to be passive about their duties, especially.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Let's just move on now. Jefferson, I don't know I'm not seeing I can see your picture behind, but on the platform, it's not there.
He's there. I can see him. I can see you.
Okay. So go ahead, Jefferson, because you are supposed to have
okay. Sorry. First of all, I want to acknowledge Wally what his viewpoint. His viewpoint was well articulated. You know, if our brother is stealing, we need to call him to order. And also, Yakubu too, thank you for your own viewpoint as well. Because we ask ourselves what we really want as a country. You know, someone says there was a saying that this thing now has gone beyond tribe, actually. We want a country that works for everyone. You know? But we need to correct some very serious ills. And the ills is that on the social media, be it religion and tribe, we still insult ourselves. So I think that amendment needs to go a very long way, right? Then when it comes to, Local P, I want to also correct you on something. You might think that Nigerians are not vocal, don't want to protest. Let me tell you, most Nigerians are working with timelines. I mean, like if you look during the time of SARS.
I'm not talking about Nigeria, I'm talking about diaspora.
No, wait now. Okay, diaspora. Okay, fine. Be diaspora, but in the Nigerian context, you might think that the Nigerians don't have a fiber to protest or whatever.
I'm telling you diaspora. You're telling me about Nigeria again. I didn't say anything about Nigerian protest. I'm talking about diaspora. So not like I might think that Nigeria. No, there's no thought for me and Nigeria protest or no thought there. So not like I might think.
But anyway, the bottom line that Nigerians back home, right? It's not as if they cannot protest. Most of them are scared because of the armed forces and everything. Because of the NSAS situation, so many other factors. Even when people try to come out, they are being threatened, and there's no backing. And we don't have a united force. And if somebody wants to say, let us protest and do something, you will still see people will be betraying other people or see people doing counter protests, even in the face of the issue that's in the nation. And at the end of it, it's all about who gets the bread. They don't care if someone kills another person, as far as I'm okay. So at the end of the day, that nationalistic interest is not there. We don't have that yet. going back to what that guest speaker, like I said, he has said all his own viewpoints and everything. But at the end of the day, look, they say he's part of the establishment or whatever. At the end of the day, you have to start from somewhere. If he's part of an establishment and he can do something different, it will be good for every one of us, you know. But nobody knows we don't know to what extent how he's going to go about it. And I also want to appreciate the fact that there's a strategy on ground, according to them, that they don't want to disclose. Because one thing I know about the APC government is that if you start putting your strategy out there, before you know, they'll start find a way to capture it and turn it upside down. I think that's what is even going on. So it's actually either here or there. So
all right.
So hold on. I'll still go back to the Obi situation. Obi could have been protesting, like I said. They said, people say Obi doesn't want to protest. Don't forget to the same Nigeria where if he come and protest, they will say he wants to scatter the country. You should read sometimes you read the what they call it, the body language of all these things. So I think they're just being diplomatic about the whole situation, and the diplomacy could be that he's trying to align with other opposition to get a front. So I can tell that work is a work in progress. So as for us being progressive and moving forward, I mean, the only way we can achieve that is we have to just tell ourselves, first, drop our religion, second, drop our tribe, and have a common value system.
Yes,
a common value system that should be nationalistic, that we can be able to advise people both here and abroad. So both here and back home. That's the only way forward. If not, if we continue with this mindset, no way.
Thank you. Okay. Stay humble, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I appreciate and good morning to everyone. And also those in the comment section. Before I go on, I would just want to say something very important, because when my brother Yakubu was talking, he did mention that that we all are to blame for what's happening in Nigeria. Please, let us discard that narrative. This is the same narrative that people, whenever I hear people mention that, I know they don't have a stand. Look, the situation of Nigeria requires that you have a stand, and your stand has to be firm. Your stand has to be solid. If your stand is the same thing as that of those who go about to lay the blame on everybody's doorsteps, I am not to blame for Nigeria's problems. We have not contributed. You did say, Mr. Yakubu, that we have all contributed to Nigeria's problems. We have not. I personally have not. I lived in Nigeria, was a law-abiding citizen. I worked for the government in several capacities, worked even with the Lagos State Civil Service, did all the things, all the nights, all the sweat, put in. And even while I'm here, a law-abiding citizen, I've always spoken the truth. I've always contributed my own opinion to the discourse about Nigeria. So do not say that I am the problem. I am not. Do not say that I've contributed to the problem. I have not. And do not say that we all have contributed to the problem. Because I know that this group, yes, people come and say that we all talk and talk and talk. That is what we will do. This group is a think tank group. In fact, before I started coming up here, I listened to this group for 2 years. 2 years. I always, and I learned a lot. Most of the people here now used to also come around that time. So many people, thousands of people listen to us. And people, even the politicians, even foreigners, they listen to what is said here. They respect this group. So let us, whenever we come here,
take this group very seriously. So let us not say that we have contributed to the problems of Nigeria. What we are doing
Stay
here is
humble.
solutions.
Thank you. I've heard you.
Solving the
Give
problems.
us your own view. Please.
Because if we are not interested, if we were not concerned, we will not be here. What is the time now? This is almost 3 a.m. and I'm awake. You're trying to speak. Now, back to the issue that we were discussing. I wanted to come up when Prince Adewole was here, but for some reasons I couldn't come up very early, to be among the first three to ask questions or make contributions. But when I came up, for some reasons I can't explain, they didn't bring me up. Surprisingly, I don't know whether maybe they thought I would ask something very sincere.
No, no.
Maybe
Hold on, stay humble. We had plenty of people. A lot of people didn't get the opportunity of coming to ask questions. So you unfortunately one of those people. So I'm sorry for that, but not because of any other thing. There a lot of people.
So, Mr. I'm sorry, Prince
Adewale.
Prince Adewole is a very educated gentleman. He has paid his dues in his profession. He's learned, he's very eloquent, he's very articulate, and he understands Nigeria's politics and global politics. He can talk, really. Personally, I'm not a big fan of him, because most times he speaks from both sides of the mouth. He's almost like Shegu Showumi. So that's why I'm not a big fan of him, Prince Adewole. But he understands politics, and sometimes we do not even question the pathway of some of these people. We just see someone, imagine, from somewhere, and then contesting for this or that or that. We don't even question what is the pathway, what have they done in the past, what are their achievements, and how did they come about this particular stage that they are in. Before 2022, I never heard about Prince Adewole, and then in 2022 I started hearing about it. Yeah, so I've not had time to go through his record, maybe because of his ideologies, which I find really weird. It resonates with the John Abbas of this world, with the AYs of this world, with the OVS of this world. They are very, very comfortable with his narratives, with his sentiments, because that's what they want. He used to be very much anti-P2B, Prince Adewole, but recently he's trying to somehow, because he's seen that P2B, you can't really, whatever you say or whatever you do, whatever gang up or conspiracy, he can't be shaken. The momentum is still there and it's even increasing. So recently he has toned down on his harsh criticisms of P2B, really, but it's still the same thing, not having any stand. So I was going to really, really batter him with questions, but Rudolph saved his day, really. So maybe next time, really, when I catch him, I will really, really ask him very, very telling questions. Trust me. Now, he mentioned in some of this that if perhaps Tinubu travels to America, to Great Britain to see the prince, that the prince will not have time to, or would not be able, or the king, was it the king of England or something, the king, whatever they have now, I don't know, that they change. Look, if holding Tinubu will make them get what they want from Nigeria or continue to maintain the status quo, they don't mind. I know them, whoever it is, whether it's in America or whether it's in Britain or France or wherever, if holding him, guarding him will make them get what they want, they don't mind. We've seen that before and it will continue to happen. So let us discard that. And he did mention that, he that has a presidential candidate, ex-presidential candidate aspirant, that he wouldn't want to criticize Tinubu when he travels, or wouldn't want to criticize the president when he travels, that he would like to wait for the president to come back. Look, you. Oh, yes, he mentioned he had been invited in several places. He has gone to Washington, D.C. He has gone there. What about the average Nigerian, on the street, who doesn't even have a future, who doesn't even have a hope? You understand? You have the privilege of being invited by so and so and so, and that's how you came about contesting for so and so. Who are you representing actually? Who is backing you? So those are the questions that we don't ask. Someone just comes out and speaks very eloquently and very enthusiastically about this subject. He's very brilliant. And then we all swallow everything hook, line, and sinker without interrogating the person's history. Now, and he also mentioned, okay, now, before then, people came here after he had gone, and they were full of praise. They were festooning him with praise, garlanding him, saying, oh, that he did so well to come here where the riffraffs are, to even give us his audience. See, I don't want to blow my trumpet or whatever, but those people, in terms of brilliance or whatever, can't even untie my shoe. That's all those presidential candidates that you see, whatever they are. So by someone coming here to speak about his ambition or speak about Nigeria, the person is not doing me a favor. The person is not doing me a favor. So if we continue to encourage this culture of people living like colonial masters, because that's what they are. The people you call leaders, the rulers, they just replaced the colonial masters. The same way the colonial masters enslaved people, that's the same way they are ruling. So we all praise them when they come here to speak to us. Come on. Even Peter Obi was the one that even set the pace, then that he used to go around everywhere. He was on every single platform when those people were even criticizing him, calling him social media president. He was on hundreds and hundreds of platforms, speaking, granting interviews, talking to youth, talking to children, talking to people in restaurants, talking to people in cafes. So let's not praise anybody for coming here. If they don't want, if they feel that they are too big, let them not come. Let them not come. So
thank you, my brother. God bless you for that one. Thank you. God bless you for that one.
For coming here to address us or to answer questions. You say, oh, that they were patient to to answer our questions.
Exactly.
What do you mean by that? What the hell do you mean?
Why did you come here? It's like, why did you come here?
Oh, that they were patient to answer our questions. That means we'll clap for them. Wait a minute, sorry. So let me land now.
Yeah, I speak the truth. You sorry, stay humble. You need to land now because we make the arrangement to bring guests, and you come here, you ask us to bring quality guests, and you don't want us to say that the guests, thank them for coming. Is that the way it's done? We're not thanking them because we're thanking them on your behalf. We're thanking as those who run the platform and have given them those invitations to come. They didn't just fall out of the sky and come here. We invited them, and we invite them, whether you agree with their views or not, does not mean that the time they spent was wasted. They could have used to do something else. Even you, when we close the program, we say thank you for your time and your treasure. I always say that because we're not paying for your data. We're not paying for your time either. Okay, you could have chosen to stay away. So we're grateful that you are here. The same way we're grateful that you are here, we're also grateful that the guests that we extend invitations to come. There are many ways to extend invitations to who say, look at the program. I say, look, I'm not coming because I don't want anybody to insult me. So those who come, we thank them for their we have some form of bravery to be here, and we appreciate that. Because nobody knows what you're going to say to them or what I'm going to say to them. So nobody goes to an interview. How many people go to
drill them?
How many
If
people
they
go
don't
to
want to be drilled by me, let them not come.
Very few politicians step into Arise News for any whether they know or don't know. So we appreciate their coming. All right, round up, sir.
So, thank you very much. So he also parroted the same narratives that I heard when we were in primary school. Come on, that that the only solution to Nigeria is to continue to patch up, is to continue to maintain the status quo. The same juvenile, childish, puerile narrative that they say, oh, that if perchance people decide that they are fed up with the Nigerian system and they go on their own, that is the same, oh, the same politicians will rule you, you people will fight, each other. Come on, that's expired. This is 21st century and people should have a brain, for crying out loud, and stop, being very, very ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stay humble, and we appreciate your contribution. You see, stay humble. Let me just give you an example. We are more than 110 right now. We used to be 100 more, but we have less than 35 likes. So if all of us now go like this program and share it, we'll have more people coming in, and the numbers will swell. So if you guys don't mind, since and we also need money to renew the channel, which is about $600 something for just one of the renewal. So I appeal to those who are still here with us. If you want us to keep coming here and bringing you quality guests that stay humble, not say, please like the channel, like it, share it. Even if not for anything, like it and share it so that our number can increase. I see Adama at the Ada, if you don't mind, you can come up stage or come up and help us do the advertisement. Thank you. And I see my brother Pansa. Please, we are doing our best to make sure that the right questions are asked and people answer the right answers. But then we cannot force people to say what they don't want to say. Having said that, thank you so much. Stay humble. AY, your turn, sir.
Yeah, thank you, KJ. First of all, I need to address the issue, Jago. Jago, when you are having discussion, you don't need to shout. Let's educate the public, okay? On that issue, the chairman of the traditional council in Nigeria is actually the Sultan of Sokoto. Don't forget, first of all, this role, what you said is actually true. This was started by the British. When they left, Nigeria retained that. Not only that, if you go across the region, apart from the southeast that is autonomous, when you go to the Yoruba, for example, the Oni of Ife is the chairman of the Yoruba king. It's like the head. That does not mean he's the most powerful king. Historically, Alaafin of Oyo is more powerful historically than even the Oni of Ife. But the Oni of Ife is the only chairman, is the leader of the king in the Yoruba land. When you go to state, you have kings that are chairmen. You don't change those positions. Like you go to Edo State, Oba of Benin is the chairman of the traditional council of Edo State. It doesn't matter. They are customary. This is a fact. So you need to look them up. They don't even have any constitutional back. I don't even know what we are arguing. I just want to enlighten you on that. You can look it up. This is not sentiment. On Mr. Prince Adebayo, right? So I listened to part of, I did listen to everything. I listened to part of his discussion, very few actually. But like some people said, he's a politician, to be honest. I know he tried to be politically correct. Yes, he really I will give it to him. He understands the struggle of Nigeria. This is not the first time I listen to him. I have close people that know this man one-on-one. They know him very deeply. People I respect and trust with judgment. They say a lot of good things about him. So that's one other thing I will respect him for. I wish I had the opportunity to come here. I would have asked him some serious questions. I think he's young. I think he's well educated, well articulate. I think we can have this kind of people with a like mind, and let's see if this country can, if we can even have any positive movement. So I would really expect, if I the one thing I would have actually talked to him about, are you talking to the like minds across the country? I don't think it's yeah, the Nigeria politics is very difficult. You need a lot of resources. Most time these young politicians, not even young, to be honest, a lot of people don't have the resources to run election in Nigeria. If you watch even Peter Obi, that's one of his setbacks during 2023 election. It's capital intensive. I think Peter Obi could not even, Labour Party, they could not even fill up close to 40,000 polling unit with polling agent. These are some of the issue in Nigeria election, but you will think it's easy. It involves a lot of money. The campaign itself involves a lot of money. People will argue, oh, Peter Obi is a billionaire. Peter Obi does not have money to run national election. He needs the support of the people. He needs the support of the wealthy people. You can't expect him to, let's assume he's even worth 10 billion naira. You want him to just take all his money and go and run an election? No, it's not done. So the kind of people he contested with, the money they use came from the government. So this is the honest truth. They don't bring out money from their pocket. Nobody use personal money to sponsor presidential election. So it's very expensive. If you think it's, even when you hear them, oh, we don't give shishi or more, they spend money for you to organize one campaign, the security alone. It is a lot of money. So this is it's not as easy as people think. I mean, Prince Adewole, sincerely, I would have kind of advise you, why don't you start from your state, contest for governorship? But his experience, he know what he want. If you feel he can give us, it can be an alternative in Nigeria, so be it. I think he's a brilliant person we need to listen to. Unfortunately, if things don't go our way, when you see this kind of discussion, people are gonna come with sentiment. It's not from my tribe, they are gonna criticize. It's not from my religion, they are gonna criticize, because Nigeria don't know how to be objective until these people are related to them. This is one problem we have. But if we are objective, we know somebody have the capacity. I think it's not bad to support them. If you want Nigeria to be good, I think it's irrelevant if the person is from your tribe or from your religion, or is your friend, or is your brother, whatever the case may be. All we are asking for is, let's have a country where people are protected, where the economy, there's improvement in the economy. We need somebody that is able to build our infrastructure. I mean, at least let common Nigeria live a decent life. At least provide the basic amenities so Nigeria can be happy and live well. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, please, KJ, before you get off? Quickly, I would like to know your feeling and your answer to where the prince left when he was warning us about living amongst Muslims and our utterances, and how everyone needs to be careful if they're living amongst Muslims. What did you think?
So I think that was really misconstrued. What he was basically saying, right, is basically saying, when you live among people, you have to respect their culture. It's not only religion alone. You can't go to Yoruba land, for example, this is their culture, you want to disrespect it. You can't go to Benin, this is their culture, you want to. So culture, either religion, either culture, either whatever you want to call it, it's just like going to somebody's house. If you come into my house, for example, I don't drink alcohol. My friends know I don't drink alcohol. I don't share alcohol. If you come into my house, you are not going to get alcohol. it's just my culture. That's my way of life. So if you know you want to have alcohol, don't come to my house because I'm not going to allow you. It doesn't mean I don't respect you, but that's what it is. If you know you want to drink alcohol, don't come to my house.
Okay, let's be strict about what. Wait, KJ, come on, let's be strict. Wait, KJ, calm down, please.
KJ, please,
You always
give me some.
frustrated just because people are speaking. Please don't do that. I'm just trying to ascertain from somebody who is a Muslim how deep it goes. I'm trying to ascertain something. Can't you see that, my friend?
Yeah.
I want to. Let me go further. AY.
Calm down.
Remember the word he used. The words he used.
Hold
KJ,
on.
please, give me a
I'm
few
moderating this program. Don't tell me what to do. If I don't want to go
Well,
to that,
I don't want to tell you what to do, but you see that you just get frustrated because someone else is.
Stop telling me that. I may not want to go to that direction you're going. You don't have to carry me there.
But yeah, I'm not asking you. I'm asking another person of the panel who should be respected.
I didn't hand over the moderation to you.
No, I'm not taking over the moderation. Thank you very much. I'm asking a question as a panel member.
I want to make we are rounding up because I have less than 15 minutes to go, and I want to stop.
Why can't I continue? This is terrible, man. I don't know what kind of person Nigerians are. We're just bullies. You're just bullying me, and you don't want me to be frustrated.
You see, this is the problem This is the problem.
Because you're the moderator, you must bully.
This is the problem right there. You see the problem right there? I brought you into the program. Do you go to CNN and begin to tell the host on what you want to say and take over the program and begin to direct the questions the way you want? Come on. And then you are accusing me of bullying you. Not even me now that you're that too.
Well, PKJ, for CNN, they see that give us CNN. They don't give us CNN too.
I do not have the patience for that today. Let's not go there. All right.
KJ, I wanted to say
you don't take the person away from the topic, and I'm saying I don't want to go there. You're insisting. What do you mean?
KJ,
somebody prepare the program, and somebody knows how you want to run the program. Are you the one who tell me how to run it?
Bring her back.
Let's not go there. And I have less than 15 minutes, and I want to stop in the next 15 minutes, and that's what I want to do. Yes, Jacob, you have a question.
Yes, I wanted to say, just add a little to the whole discourse. So far, I appreciate the fact that we come here every day, cracking our minds, cracking our heads, knocking our minds, knocking our heads. All in a bid to see that something good happens, in a country we all want, to call our country. But the truth of the matter is that I still want to reiterate the fact that we are still not doing enough. Why am I saying this? The reason why I'm saying we're still not doing enough is this. Even though Jagun did mention something earlier on, like, is a revolution the way to go? My mind went back to all the revolutions that have taken place all through time, including the ones that took place in Africa. I mean, the bloody revolutions, the revolutions through the barrel of the gun. We are still where we are. It hasn't improved any part of the Africa where people were killed. Generals were, generals fell. It hasn't changed anything. The only place where revolution worked was maybe in France, the French Revolution, and maybe in Russia, the Russian Revolution, and maybe in America, the American Revolution. Now, the question you should ask yourself is, what is the common denominator? The Russian, the French, and the American Revolution. What was the common denomination? It was the people. It was the people. It was the people. The people decided that I'm not going to sit back and rely on bread anymore. I want to take my destiny in my hand. Now, let's go back to Nigeria. What is the common denominator? Do you realize that ethno-religious loyalty is stronger than hunger in Nigeria? Do you realize that praising ill-gotten wealth is stronger than kidnapping in Nigeria. I can go on and on and on and on to give you the divisive factors that cuts across northeast, northwest, north central, southwest, south-south, southeast. Yet, a chunk majority of this number, that is, we're talking of over 170 million, are living in multi-dimensional poverty. They call it a poverty that is less than $3 a day. Yet, these people cannot sit back and say, you know what? How many are these people out there? How many are they, from the local government chairman all the way to the presidency? How many are they? Are they up to 2 million? Are they up to 2 million? Even if they went to the best investors in the world, have they actually implemented anything useful? Because I'm not seeing anything there. I'm not seeing anything there. See, you can say something 100 times. Unless you leave it once, it can never be the same thing. All those theory I'm hearing just makes me like wonder, is that all we're good for? Is it only when we come to the abroad that we begin to act normal? Oh, if there's a fire, make sure there's a muster point, make sure there's a rescue, make sure there's this. But in Lagos State, if there's a fire, the road will never allow the fire brigade to pass through. Is that sense? Is that sense? There's an emergency, you can hear the bell, the alarm, the whatever, siren. Yet, that is when people want their own, like, you know, if he passed me, where they go? Now lie. You begin to ask yourself, is there sense in that?
They will look at your tribe before they save you.
That is another one. You go to the hospital, that is another distinguishing factor. You see women, I feel sorry for pregnant women in rural areas in Nigeria. I feel very sorry for them, particularly at night when they fluid. You see, there's a woman I remember that was carried on the bike all through on one road that wasn't tarred for like 4 hours. Bumpy. This one was 9 months gone. She died eventually anyway. How much is air ambulance? How much is air ambulance? Is that not enough for a village to rise up and go to the council, local government council?
Air ambulance. No, nah.
No, I'm serious. How much is air ambulance on that? I understand where you're coming from, but how much is it?
Okay, thank God. Okay.
How much is it?
I tried best.
Please, we are talking about, see, the way Nigerians approach issues is half measure all the time. You said that apathy. Since 2023, everybody has gone back to their cocoon. Like, we are okay. Now, 2026, the reason why people are coming out of hibernation is because of that money. The smell of thick money in the air. That's why they're coming out of hibernation now. It's not because they're coming to change anything. They're only coming out just to collect what they need to collect and go back. Like in my state, I left Nasarawa State Ministry of Justice because I was prosecuting young boys from Kefi prison. And I told myself, what is this boy's offense? That was why I resigned and left. I resigned and left because I was looking at those boys and I was asking myself, am I better than these boys? I'm even more of a criminal than they are for even writing that legal advice that they should be prosecuted. I resigned. But those boys, every day, even after I left, every day you are still getting young boys, young girls getting prosecuted every day in Nigeria for what they did not cause.
Yeah.
For simple things like give us job, give us employment. See, I was thinking about the vocational system of education the other day, and I asked myself, why are we still bent on theories? Why are we still bent on passing exams? Because to me, I feel that it's even that first, second, third that is causing that I better pass my neighbor till today. Because that's the mentality. Let me be first.
Yeah. The education, even the system needs to be reformed. The education,
even church, that's a better pass my neighbor. It started from church.
Let me be first in my class. And then it now transmuted into the larger environment. Like, as long as my own side is sorted, I'm okay. Let the others, sort themselves out. So it becomes, let me get it first. And then the thing now became a national issue. And it's still remaining a national issue. So we have not even dealt with the main injury yet. All we're doing right now, there's a gangering, there's a rot, a deep rot. All we have done is just pour GB. If you guys remember GB, that thing they pour on injury, that's what we've done now. We just poured GB and bandaged it. It hasn't stopped the rot from continuing.
The GB is purple.
Yes, purple. That's all we've done. It hasn't stopped the rot. The rot is still there. We've just covered the smell. And I asked myself, why do we encourage these big people? Do you know that when these big men, because I believe there are some of them that are even sincere, when they come to do supervision, do you know it is still us that will still make sure that we do painting?
All right.
Do small repair, so that when the government official comes, he will see that the place is maintained for the purpose of that visit.
Yeah,
and then after the person goes, we now go back to square one. We still make sure that we encourage all those rubbish to go on.
Thank you,
today.
Thank you, Yakubu. And I wish you have more time, because I would have loved to. Where is this one coming from? Anybody's phone ringing out? Well, not my own though.
That is Nokia. Maybe it's Locopi.
Okay.
Monkey.
Gentlemen, I think we'll have to round up here. And I like where you're going, Yakubu. We don't have time to go there.
Are you closing down?
Yes, we are closing away. And thank you for coming, AY. Thank you for staying humble. I will not close without to speak.
My Oga, I greet you specially.
I will give you people 3 minutes to round up. And AY, I want to tell you that what you said about the Southern of Sokoto is not correct. Since we know Southern of Sokoto have been given that opportunity to be the chairman of the Treasury Council of Nigeria since Nigeria became independent, and they refused
even before. Yeah,
remember that. Come on now, we know the history now. Remember that was what brought problem between the Southern of Sokoto and the Ata of Igala. He said, who made him chairman? He refused to accept that. Okay, so and that was where when the British was trying to force that down the throats of the Nigerian Traditional Council. What we are saying is that before the British, even if the British did why do you need to keep it up?
Yeah, I know. I don't also agree with that. I don't.
So that's the question, but that's a discussion for another day. And I want to say this also
just give me 30 seconds, please, KJ.
No, hold on. I'm coming. I'll give you. I want to say this to those of us who have been asking, when shall we have that debate of how Mungo Park found River Niger? I want to say we are putting it this week. We will advertise it. I will now come here and these are some of the things we need to interrogate. How did these people get these titles? How does it come about? And why should we now continue to tell our children that Mungo Park found River Niger? Why not tell the people of Nigeria that there was Nupe people living there? Yes,
we are follow people.
We need to rewrite these histories and make it very clear. So we will talk about that. Rudolph has said graciously he wants to be among those who are going to state that it is supposed to be so because he was the one who documented it. There are a variety of other people who want to be on the other side. So we'll have that discussion. And probably we'll also now marshal this discussion about traditional rulers and who made the Southern of Sokoto to be now the chairman forever, ever, ever of traditional rulers in Nigeria. That shouldn't be.
It's a game plan. It's a game
If
plan.
for anything, it should be rotational. Not that one man will occupy that position
No,
and every other
no.
person.
See, my anger, my anger is this year, yeah. If you people, okay, before that name Sultan, yeah, everybody know the major tribe, original tribe, indigenous tribe in that place. That name did not come from that tribe. Sultan did not come from that tribe. So if I thought they have a head there, what is the traditional name of that head of that region? Why Sultan?
Now you are going far. You are going far. But Masca is not here. Masca will give us that. We will send a
Sultan?
special invitation on this.
At least there should be maybe a Hausa name for a king in that place, and that should be what it should be. If it's rotational or hereditary, but it should be. But why Sultan? And why does it have to be ascribed to Islam?
Why? Okay, we're not discussing that now. Just hold your fire, Mr. That's right, voting. AY, please, your final comment. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Your final comments.
I thought you said 3 minutes.
No, reduce to 2 minutes. We have entered the 3 hours is already complete. So we need to move.
KJ ate all the other minutes by talking now.
Yes, I did.
You don't chop out. You don't chop out, put out for pocket.
So
like any Niger politician.
You now. We are the same now, Yagun. All right.
No way.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah. So what I was explaining based on what is on ground, right? The reason the British added over the chairman of the traditional council to Sultan, it was convenient. Don't forget, the North, they had the indirect rule. The when you hear the Sultan of Sokoto, that empire is big too. It's the biggest in Nigeria as it stands today, down to Kano, to I think it's about 7 emirate councils. We need to understand our history. But when it comes to the position of rotating that position, I'm 100% in support of it. I think all the first-class king in Nigeria, that position should be rotated. Like I said, it is only the Igbos. Igbos, they don't have a centralized system. That is where you don't have somebody representing them as chairman whatsoever, because Igbo system is autonomous, is different from the other system. These are facts. It's not
they don't have. They have, but it's not spread. They have, but it's not spread.
If KJ know what I'm talking about, stay humble. We know what I'm talking. They know what I'm talking about.
They have.
They're Republican in nature. That's the word you're trying to use. People are Republican in nature. You need to know your history.
Listen to me. It's not fucking shit. They have. Leave Republican. They have traditional head. They have.
Okay, I give up. Okay.
They have. No worry. Leave whatever.
You want to teach KJ about Igbo culture?
Okay, I give up. You see your problem. Hold on. See your problem. When it comes to traditional council meeting, whatever, don't they have people that they call king or whatever from South?
You are not listening. Okay, please.
They have.
KJ will explain to
you that they don't have.
No, I don't understand the point you're trying to make.
No copy. Now only couple minutes the man get to.
I don't understand though. Make you leave the guy. Make you conclude now.
I will remove him now. So yeah, beautiful talk from again from Chris. What's it called? Adebayo. I think we have more smart, intelligent people that can actually move this country forward. This is the reality. I think all we need a system that is working. First of all, let's start from the electoral system. I strongly believe in the electoral system. I know Nigeria, they can bastardize anything. My fear for Nigeria sometimes, to be honest, even when you bring America or the best electoral system in the world to their country, politicians will look for a way to compromise it. This is my fear about Nigeria. But however, I hope one day we are going to have electoral system that is working for the people, so that people that really want to help the country to grow, help local government to grow, help state to grow, they can volunteer to go there and contest. But because we don't even know what is going on in Nigeria, what is really happening even the Yahoo, the 419, the criminals, they go steal money from somewhere, they join the politics. Somebody that never worked in his life, this is what they do. They have access to our commonwealth. They have access. What do you think they are going to do? So we also know these people, right? So if we have electoral system, you'll be able to canvass. You are known in the community, in the local government, in the state. You can go there to really talk to the people, share your idea, what you want to do, how you want to achieve this result. Probably we have quite a number of educated people in Nigeria now, experienced people. When you speak the language they understand, probably they will vote you in so that you will do the right thing by the people. Because the fear is what we currently are. If they keep rigging themselves into power, don't expect anything from them. The reason why some senator will vote, the reason why some governor don't care about you is because they feel they can use money to buy your vote. They can use military to take your vote. They can use anything to take your vote. That's why they don't care. It's more like go to hell, your vote don't count. This is the system. I think that should be the starting point. So if we achieve that, I strongly believe we are going to achieve a lot. Hopefully we get to that point. Thank you, KJ.
Thank you so much. All right, stay humble.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah. So very quickly, I'll be very, very fast. I still disagree with my brother, Mr. Yakubu. He did mention that after 2023 that Nigerians went to sleep. That's absolute falsehood in capital letters, because if you have been following, the problem is that sometimes when some of our brethren from the far north and middle belt, sometimes when they talk, you just begin to wonder, do they live in the same Nigeria? Do they actually follow what's going on? It's like they just emerged from, let's say, South America, and they are talking, and you'd be like, where are you getting all this information from? Because we know that after 2023, we saw how animated, the young people were, even middle-aged people, and they even wanted to go to the streets. We saw how people followed the court proceedings. We saw how people even try to see if the records of the president, will be. And since then, we've seen we've had protests. Young people have come out to protest, not just young people. It has even cut across, different age groups. We've seen different advocacies. We've seen online meetings and advocacies, So if you tell me that people are being silent and that you so-called tribal and religious leanings overwhelms hunger. Now, we know that these people control the media, with their foreign collaborators. So they try to push, when they push their narrative, they want to make it the preponderant narrative to give you the impression that that is what is the preponderance of opinion of the public. But that's not true. We've seen how Nigerians from all walks of life, from all tribes, from all religions, galvanized during the NSAS, and also galvanized towards a candidate who is not even giving a kobo. We saw Nigerians from all tribes, from all ethnicities in their millions, that these people had to suppress them. They had to shut down the IREF. They had to do all sorts of manipulations with their foreign collaborators to shut the people down. So if you're telling me, oh, that they are so goatish, that they are so sheepish, that they are just following only tribal and religious sentiment, that's absolute falsehood, which I can debate with you whenever you want. I'm ready. Absolutely. Now, back to Prince Adewole, who said, I think he said, oh, when you go to particular climes, respect their culture, I don't think that if you even hear stories from our fathers and grandfathers who lived in different parts of the country in the days though then we had a lot of crises, before the British left, we had a Kanu riot and the rest of them. But people, actually lived together. They didn't have any problem. What are the culture they're even talking about? The culture they're talking about is that they bring in somebody who is absolute, who is a criminal, who has very, very horrible records, even outside the country, who has been imprisoned, who has been convicted, who has forged his certificate, and they say, oh, this is the person we want to go to so place. And you say, no, this person does not have a clean record. This is the person I will vote for. Then you are not respecting the culture. That is what they are trying to sell to us here on this platform. And I will not stay here and allow that sentiment to fly, because there are people that are listening to us that need to be educated properly on what's happening. So people actually don't have any issue with cultures. When you move across Nigeria, you see people from different tribes living. People don't have any issue with culture. The culture they want people to respect is the criminal culture of the politicians. And that is what I want to, debunk. And regarding the constitution, we should not have a country where there are different laws. I personally do not drink alcohol. I don't smoke. But that is not to say that if someone is drinking alcohol near me, that will smash the bottle or try to buy the person. Something like that. No. So if you're trying to sell a narrative, that some people are justified to use jungle justice or use violence because their religious cultural views have been trampled on, then that's absolute, that should be discouraged entirely. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Yakubu.
Oh,
Mr.
thank
Yakubu,
you
are you
so
with us?
very much.
Yeah.
I am. I really enjoy
Responding.
this issue of the apathy of Nigerians. Because the truth of the matter is this: we are still joking when it comes to taking your country into your hands. It's not something that you give a gap for. You see, let me give examples. Now, the National Assembly knows very well that when they make laws and people are not there as pressure groups, people are not sat in the gallery as lobby groups, they know that they can get away with anything they want. Do you realize that if we go as members of a civic group to the gates of the National Assembly today, for us to be given audience, to sit down in the gallery and see into their proceedings and lobby groups, do you know they will stop us at the gate because of insecurity? Now, that in itself shouldn't happen in the first place. That in itself is denying us our right to participation in democratic processes. But what do you see happens? A lot of people will turn back quietly and then they will never go back again. So that gap already is created. You now allow the National Assembly to have a field day and do whatsoever they want to do. And that's exactly what we are suffering today. Because so many laws have been passed that affects each and every one of us that we did not have any input whatsoever in the passage of those laws. None whatsoever. None. And those laws, they've become, as far as Nigeria is concerned, they've become what is guiding our lives every day. We can fall foul of it. And there's ignorance of the law is never an excuse. So some of these elitist views that we kind of inherited from the colonial masters that are still guiding whatever it is that we're doing today is what is suppressing us. And we seem to kind of like just at a point we become, what's the word again? Paralyzed. We become paralyzed. And then just because there was a little killing, it becomes something to be afraid of. It's something that I'm not saying we should go and fight, but I'm just simply saying there's what we refer to as civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is part of our duties, responsibilities as citizens. Even if we don't know anything, we should know that we are partakers. As long as it is a voting process, then we are the employers. If they make decisions that we don't want, and they did not allow us to participate in the input, we can decide not to obey that law, all of us. But not when one section of the country is trying to, and another section of the country is saying no. You see young people come out to protest, and then you will still see young people come out to oppose that protest. And you begin to ask yourself, what's going on here? Am I confused? Are these people not age mates? Why are they looking at things from two different views? Is it enough to cause this kind of confusion? Which means there's a puppet and there's a puppeteer. And what is what's the connecting factor there? Money, hunger, ethnicity. All those little things that we should have overcome long time ago, despite the exposure. That is where the annoyance is. If this was 1956, I would say I understand that a majority of Nigerians did not go to secondary school. Maybe standard 7. But we are talking about 2026. We have over 100 million Nigerians that have finished secondary school, living in Nigeria. So at least they know basic how to read and write.
I need to you need to round up. I agree with what you're saying, but it's a long, drawn out discourse. I think what is going on is deliberately done so that the rich will continue to be richer and the poor continue to be poorer. It doesn't matter to them. There's a discussion we're going to hold later. If you notice the Esteem file coming up, there's a section of it that talked about the bodies of women, of Nigerian women. The federal government have not even said anything up to this moment what they intended to do with the bodies and the black women and all that, especially from Nigeria. But you see, we are dealing with a government that is docile in the place of the Bible puts it for those of us who are Christian. The Bible says woe unto he who is at ease in Zion. In other words, where you are supposed to be taking action, doing certain things, you go there and you are sleeping. You are sleeping at when they are sharing there's a sharing of the world going on now. There's alignment and realignment going on right now. There are things that are being done to try to wipe out certain individuals and the rest and all that, take over territories and all that. And we are rather, our own government is more concerned about how to steal from the people, cheat the people, manipulate the system to keep them going. They're only concerned about the money of the people, the wealth of the land, and nothing more. It's so unfortunate, but what can we say? Here, that's where we are. I mean, tell me that I want to come and live in a city, in a nation where I see outside my home I have 10 inches of snow. What am I doing? What am I doing? But that's the only place we can have have a decent life and have an honest living without having to cut the system, manipulate the system to get what you want, without having to know somebody to be able to just get something very civil, something very, something just done, even as much as putting your child in a good school. It's crazy, but we can always, say as much as we can say, Anyway, my brother, let's hold it there. I know that. Comrade, you want to speak last or you want to speak now? Because I don't know how stable yours.
I want to speak now because my network is not stable.
All right, please. I indulge diaspora voting and Jagun to please give him an opportunity. And Jefferson, please let him make it because going over on. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I don't like him. I don't want to give him time.
Jago.
That joke I did make.
Yeah, because I said you look like let General Dika Ojuku. I know you don't like me for that.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
no,
good
no.
evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I've been listening. I don't know if my brother is there. Stay humble. Some people come here with different names. Some people come with speak the truth. It doesn't necessarily mean they speak the truth. It's just symbolic. There's Are a you saying saying some that people are not humble? yeah, they are not humble. I'm coming here. Well, see, there's something funny about us. I like the one the last week I said before KJ took over, and I also like the quote you made from the Bible. You apply that one to leadership. We can also apply it to our followership. We are a terrible set of people, man. There's a saying that a problem identified is a problem solved. In our case, we identify our problem and we pretend about them. So we hope to get better. We are pretenders. We are hypocrites. We are liars. We pretend a lot. We are tribal bigots. We are religious bigots. We leave the majors and dwell in the minors. We dwell in frivolities every day. We know it and we pretend about it. I have somebody on this show right now. Either it's on the show, on the panel, or probably watching somewhere. When Wike was misbehaving in Port Harcourt, when he was killing his people for his selfish interest, political interest, he was happy. He was happy. Even the way I was against it, they saw me as somebody that hated Wike. One day I pointed out, look at, a good leader will not do this, a good leader will not do that. A good leader will not be so desperate to kill his people for power. Be careful with this man. They almost made that monster our president. You know what the guy told me? He said, please, I love him. He's my best friend on this planet. He said, so long as he's doing something that favors them. Then he thought Wike was going to support their principal. The moment Wike turned around, he began to see the bad things Wike was doing. But he told me, so long as he was doing those nasty things, with the intention that he was going to favor their principal, he didn't see anything wrong with it. What kind of people are we? The kind of leadership we have is not different from the kind of people we are. Apple does not fall too far from the tree. So let us not pretend until we all know our problems. Until we've shied away from this pretense, this tribalism, these frivolities, we go nowhere as a people. We pretend a lot. No matter how we come here to pretend as if, oh, we want to analyze the issues, the problems. Oh, everybody sound like a professor. It's very easy for us to analyze. We come here to talk of how much the imperialists, the colonialists, laid a bad foundation for us. It's easier for us to say. When we come here to blame Buhari, oh, our voices are very loud. When we come here to blame Tinubu, our voices are very loud. But when we come here to talk about the mistake, the division, the fight, unnecessary fight, we fight against ourselves on a daily basis, unnecessary dichotomy, unnecessary bitterness, on this acrimony among us as a people. We are not united. We cannot fight in unity against our common oppressors. If we want to blame the Fulani herdsmen, they are not up to 1% of the population. How much powerful they are, how much they have suppressed us over the years. We are very loud. But when it comes to the common mistake we are making as a people, when we tell them that 1% cannot hold up in perpetual bondage, we are selfish. If on this platform, I was surprised today, a lot of people are coming up. Like I told Mr. Adewole, he spoke very well. Though at a point as a politician, tried to be economical with the truth. He tried his best, very intelligent. And he knows so deep about the Nigerian factors. He has a deep idea. But these same people were telling them, Seahawks just left here. On a different, forum, I will tell them, if Nigerians go to the streets like a mob without a direction, it will be worse than the NSAS. This is different. The difference between NSAS and political movement, like the obedient movement, is that it's centered around somebody. That should be a figure. That should be a leading figure. Like what Martin Luther King did. Though he was not portrayed in power, but he saw the vision that would outlive him. When you tell them, they will tell you Obi does not need Nigeria does not need Obi to lead them. If you ask them, Obi has 1.something million behind him. Maybe because he didn't pay for it, so he doesn't know the value. He's not utilizing it effectively in the opposition direction. They will tell you if Obi leads now, they will tell you they will call him Igbo. What kind of division do we have? We expect this to just turn around.
we think when we cry, these Buccaneers will listen to us. These people that have sold their conscience long time ago, when we think they're just going to make up their mind one day and pity us. I don't want to take much of your time. I have a lot of things to say. The sooner we start blaming our colonialism, the sooner we start blaming our leaders and start blaming for ourselves, for our inactions, the better for us as a people. If we think they're going to pity us one day and just take the sugar from their mouth and give it to us, we are jokers. And again, I'm surprised today, the same people that are saying Nigeria do not need leaders to lead them in the opposition, they are busy now applauding Adewole when he said they have something to do on Monday. So I don't know the extent to which they can go, but I'm waiting. If this is the only thing that Fabio has been able to achieve, it's not because I like it. If this is the only thing that will wake up the opposition, sometimes I even feel they are working for Tinubu. I think they have arrangement, turn by turn, a million consistent. So that is why they are not moving against him. So if this is the only thing that Fabio has achieved to bring them, to wake them up from their slumber, let's see what they're going to do tomorrow. They are not ready. They are not ready. We are just deceiving ourselves. We are selfish. So people will come here and say, either my candidate or no other candidate. What are you talking? Is it democracy or you're in a court? Or you're in a court? Are you in a secret court? You threatening people? Either this, not this. If not this, not this. Heaven will fall if it's not. How do we achieve a common goal like that? We don't even know what we want as a people. So that we begin to talk of how we hope to get there. What kind of people are we? We blame our leaders every day. We are not taking action for our own mistake. No leader will pity us. I think they are too generous. There is no leader that will not use us to shine the way we are. We are gullible people. We are subservient. We are pretenders and we are hypocrites. Any leader that comes around will use us to shine, as we say in our local palace. Thank you, and I rest my case.
Okay, thank you so much, comrade. You have spoken like a comrade and never disappointing. Thank you for the points you made. Really appreciate that. Jefferson, no, it's not Jefferson. It's support diaspora voting. Where are you, sir?
It's me now.
No, it's not you. Okay, he's not there. Jefferson, go ahead.
Can I go ahead?
Jefferson.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, thank you. So, okay, this guy is gone. I think you have taken him off, right? The issue that, the thing that Ewa actually spoke about regarding, I would have loved to ask him, but unfortunately, I think we are all running up. I would love to know what his antecedent is in people being radical in their faith. Because most times they always talk about non-Muslims being speaking against their prophet, but they don't talk about the aftermath of people being radical of other people.
No,
I'm not going into all those details. I would love to ask more of that, but it's fine.
I'm answering you now. The Islam does not appreciate radicalism. The radical section of Islam is not tolerated by many people. However, it doesn't mean that they will stop them. It's just like me being a Christian. I will not stop somebody who is being fanatical, who will not go to hospital, who will not do certain drink tablets and all that. I won't stop you because if it's your belief, it's working for you, okay. But I may not do what you are doing. And that's the same thing with the radical Muslims. Majority of the Muslims will do not support them from what they are doing, but doesn't mean that they will go out. Just like I told the story of the principal who tried to stop the students from, lynching that woman. But the moment his own life was in danger, he had to run for his own life. And that's a clear example. So they don't support that.
All right. So you see, so that's the issue. Unfortunately, we have not been sincere about all these things, and that's why we are in this. That's why we're in this mess today. We'll keep on. I want to say in conclusion, we'll still keep on moving on. People have different ideologies. Amora, also thank you for your views as well. it's true that you brought it up because, of course, we always come here and we fight ourselves when we know we have the bigger fight outside. And like I said, the mindset is a very, very big, is a very terrible one. I wish we can actually outgrow it as a people, because there's a lot of learning and relearning we need to do. I think what we also need to understand that we need to be human first before anything, irrespective of what we stand for in terms of religion. We must have a conscience, because even God that we serve, we don't want you to kill yourself over a religion. He wants you to have humanity, because it's the same God will also tell you that he will despise your prayer if you cannot settle with the next man. If you go and do sacrifice, do prayer, do everything, and you cannot see to the needs of your neighbor, your prayer is as good as useless. Let everybody have this in the back of their mind. So it is one thing that we need to understand.
Okay.
And then secondly, a lot of things have been said. Like Omari was saying, that we need to how do we do things differently? Another reason why we are in this mess is because we are not really sincere about what our leaders do. Even when there is an evil being meted out on the next person, try to be supporting themselves to fight the next person. And that's why we're not moving forward. And when we see black, we always can call it white, and vice versa. So at the end of the day, right, I know that we need to check, we need to put ourselves in check. So that's my own submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Jagun for real.
Thank you, KJ. I would like to use my 2 minutes in silence as a protest against the platform. Can that be appreciated?
No, I can't do that now, because we want.
I see you.
Okay. It is well. We will try and do better.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir.
We've had another show. It's a weekend has gone. It's 2026 in February, and the year is already speeding ahead. In no time, we are going to be in 2027, and we have to decide now, I believe, as individuals, what it is that we are expecting from that year. Me personally, I'm going to reiterate, and I'm going to be saying this more and more often, that as a collective, as a Nigerian collective, 2027 as an election year should not go ahead. We should not go into an election. We can see from the last couple of years that from the 8 years of Buhari, 2 years and a half of Tinubu, nothing has worked, nothing has changed. There's been no progress. There's been nothing. If we as a people are expecting something, a different result from the same practice, then as Jefferson's, I think Omori said, we are crazy. And based on this, I want to push the rhetoric of not going ahead with 2027 as an election year. We need to put in an interim government. We need to have a good 2 to 3 years to make sense of ourselves and of our nation, and come to the end of that point where we can satisfy ourselves that we are going to go into a democracy that makes sense for us as a people. If we don't have one rule of law, one established governing body, a correctly organized secular society, then, and we have to admit that the campaign of the giant of Africa that Nigeria is supposed to be is no more. It's no more. It was a pipe dream, and we tried our best, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. And that's what we're going to have to accept. I do not believe that we are ready for another election that would waste our time, energy, and money, that would have us facing further crisis as we go forward, that could have bloodshed on a serious level across the Nigerian country, and that would have a destabilizing effect across West Africa and the more. We have to understand that the world wants Africa. We seem to want it less than the rest of the world want it, to be frank. And we are to be ashamed of ourselves. Those who want to take their responsibility away, like our person who reckons he's humble, who wants to satisfy himself that he has no guilt, nothing to blame, no responsibility. Fair enough. There are many Nigerians like that. But for me, I'm attached, I'm engaged, I'm heartfelt about what Nigeria is, was, and is supposed to be. And if we don't make real strides in honesty, because we behave with a lot of dishonesty, a lot of dispassionate claims. We behave as though sometimes the country doesn't even belong to us. We behave poorly towards our country and our countrymen. We behave poorly to each other. And if we want to make a change in these aspects, we have to vote that we're not going to have a waste of time election in 2027, and we have to put this out into the atmosphere and let Nigerians know that we're going to get ready for something else, because we as a people are going to take the country back. The country is in the hands of criminals. There was another prince who came on board today. There's a prince who came on, and I don't know if he's a criminal or not, but he wasn't speaking for the people, as far as I'm concerned. He was not speaking for the people. And for me, we need to be alerted that we have to take responsibility for the country that we love so much, or we supposedly love so much. If we don't, then whatever we get, it's our fault. And I end it there.
Thank you so much. And we have saved the last for the best, or the best for the last. Here comes support diaspora voting. Now vote us out, Mr. Diaspora voting. Vote us out, please.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Continuing from taking from a line where Jagun highlighted, like the West is trying to own us. Yeah, I would say probably it's even kind with the words. I would say the blunt, like they're trying to not recolonize, because colonize is like probably for the better, but I think it's re-enslave us again. But this time they are coming in a medical way, scientific way, intelligent way, or whatever way that is not visible to us, that we think, or like they are trying to enslave us in a Trojan way. Let me use the word Trojan. Yeah, in the sense that Trojan means you think they're doing you a favor by giving you stuff, but behind the scenes they're taking massive from you, and you think they create this platform like social media, they give you money. Every youth in Nigeria wants to be creating content and make money, build houses, but you have nothing to offer to society. You have nothing to build. So by the time they own everything you have, naturally, you're feed with just having your own house, having your money, which they can say control you. You understand? And that is re-enslavement that they are working on. These guys are 50 years ahead, but it takes few Africans who see to know that we can counter this. So what I urge Nigerians to do is, look, we know these things they're not foundational, they're not hereditary, but I think it became habit for us to be who we are today, because the little things, ingredients that is causing this problem in the past, we fail to not to correct it. This idea of someone trying to be a better as my neighbor, we just lock up and allow them to flourish, because you don't want trouble, you don't want to make enemy. If you speak out, what is your business? Mind your business, mind the business, mind the business. Even in the churches, like I said, this a better pass my neighbor also started from the church, whereby a wedding man will come, will sit in the front. If you are poor, go back. The church has already started segregation first in the church that you think is the house of the Lord. There's already segregation there. Rich men sit in the front, poor men, if you dress well, go to the front. If you don't dress well, go to the back. Why is it like that? So we started there. So that kind of mentality from the church that the people believe in. What stops you from taking that kind of mentality outside, in your workplace, in your everyday life? You understand? If you dress well, I talk with you. If you don't dress well, get out. So there's already this appetite by my neighbor lifestyle that started in church. So these things has metamorphosed way back, way back before we realize now we are suffering the punishment of this appetite by my neighbor. That today say that we can't even come together. Because whenever we come together, we are still bringing this idea of a better pass my neighbor. Like, let me look at you. Oh, who are you? Who are you? You don't have money. Go and sit there. I don't want to speak with you. Even if you have anything upstairs, So we should see ourselves as one. Whatever we do, we should put unity first, collectiveness first. Even in America today, despite how great America is, their policies, even the policies that John Trump is even bringing out, you can still see little pockets of riots coming up from different states fighting against ICE. They are coming, even if they're shooting them, they're killing them, they don't care, they still come out. So when people give me this flimsy excuse of NSAS, what happened in NSAS? What happened in NSAS only happened in Lagos for Canada Lab. It now we have 36 states in Nigeria. It happened in only one state. So we can't be using just one state to justify the failure of NSAS. You understand? If we have the magnitude of NSAS in the 36 states together, collectively at the same time, I don't think we should be singing a different song by now. So I think nobody should come and start giving us answers bullshit that what happened in answers. Not happening in answers. It happened in only one state. And Lagos cannot be used as a yardstick to judge Nigeria, the whole of the country. Nigeria is too big. You're bigger than Lagos. You understand? So also we in diaspora too. We should not just come and start thinking and just talk. We should also be proactive. Please. We should also be proactive, please, because I know there are francophone countries in France that were still rioting, still carrying a placard to fight with their own African countries. We've seen that. So we can also do that here. I see no reason why it's only when there's election period that we see some people putting Peter Obi card abroad or putting Tinubu placard abroad or whatever. We should also be seeing when policies are not favoring us or favoring our loved ones in Nigeria, that's our country. We should also be seen coming out to speak against. But we just want to sit in our own comfort zone. Nobody wants to. Just imagine the hours we've put down here every weekend. You understand? We can put like 2 hours in coming out. Just let's just come out. Just come out. Don't worry. Let's just speak. We think they don't hear, but speak. When you speak and speak, it will get to the ear one of these days. So, but if we don't start now, it will never happen. So we in diaspora, we know most of us will not want to go home and make any effective change because we're scared of our life or our children. But here that we think we are safe, we can start something here. You understand? And if we do it in all countries, all the embassies in the world, obviously they will listen.
All right. Thank you so much. I want to, on that faithful note, we're going to call it a wrap. Thank you for the super chat. Again, I want to say, please, before you log off, it will do us well if you just go and like it. If you have liked it before, don't like it again, because if you do that, you're going to cancel out what you have done before. But if you have not, please don't leave without liking it, so that let us now be certain that it is not deliberate. I don't want this channel to grow beyond where we are, because I noticed that that's also happening with Mayegun General. But that's a discussion. So please do us a favor, like the channel, and then share.
There was one like earlier on, so I was a second like, and I noticed that just now. I said, how come we kind of forget? I know sometimes it could be forgetfulness, yes, but even after, okay, wait, in fact, let me not go there.
Don't go back, because I'm shutting down right now.
Yeah, because some very prominent pages today, and I saw the number of subscribers, and I asked myself, why are these kind of prominent people? When I say prominent, I mean people who are conscientized, who are talking about situations.
It's deliberate.
You see 10,000 subscribers, but then you go to other pages where all
that you have all the numbers.
1 million subscribers.
It's deliberate.
The question I ask myself is, what is more important?
It's deliberate.
I'll leave it at that. What is
Thank
more
you
important?
so much. Thank you, Yakubu. We really appreciate your contribution. Please do come again. We enjoyed your inputs.
Sorry, KJ. Do you know this guy, Yakubu? He sounds like Femi.
Yes, they sound alike.
They sound like
you mean Amieda's son, the Orisha himself?
Sorry?
Is it Femi Kuti?
No.
We have another Femi on the show.
Oh,
So they
okay.
feel like
All
saying,
right, thank you
you're
so
like
much. We need to go now.
70 or 80%
We need
alike.
to go.
They
We need
sound
to
the
go.
same.
Thank you so much, Jack.
I'm a man with so many personalities.
Thank you so much.
Let's
Thank you.
unite
Thanks,
ourselves
thanks,
as a,
guys. I really
as a
enjoyed. I
formidable
really
force
enjoyed
against our
this.
oppressors. Only that way we can succeed. Let's not pretend.
Thank you. I really appreciate you, comrade. Thank you for putting in, even though you didn't have much time, but you still waited to make your contribution. I appreciate that. That's why voting. Thank you, and Jagun, thank you, and Yakubu, thank you so much. Really appreciate all your contributions, and that is will be our wrap for today. Um, whether you like it or not, these gentlemen have been able to express themselves in the best way they can, and their intention is to make Nigeria a better place. Nobody comes here and wants to come and criticize anybody unnecessarily, but to give a way where we can all find peace in the nation we have found ourselves. I'm sure that if God had an opportunity to ask you, or if you had an opportunity and God asked you, what nation do you want to be born in? I'm sure that many of us would not have chosen Nigeria. But since we are here now, we can as well make it a better place for us. And I'm not one of those who say Nigeria created Nigeria, God created Nigeria. No. Nigeria was put together by the British. And what they did put together was not for the benefit of the people who are in that geographical location, but for us to now be able to calibrate what they've given to us and bring it to the place where we can better use it and for our benefit and the benefit of our children. The world is moving. There's a cascading towards a direction that we have never seen before. We all need to wake up, especially those who are the seat of government in Nigeria, to wake up and smell the coffee and know that things are no longer as usual, are not like yesterday. It's going to be a more difficult world, a more changed world in the next 5 years, 6 years, and 10 years. And so it's not time to begin to play unnecessary local politics, mundane and primitive things that not going to help us. It is time now to step up the plate and to call our best heads and our best hands to put them on the right place, where we cannot again be asked that we were recolonized or we didn't know what was happening. We know what is happening. Nigerians know what is happening. Nigerian diaspora know what's happening. The experts in us, amongst Nigerians know what's happening. Government should consult those people to tell them exactly what is happening now and what should be our reaction to what is going on now. If we are taking our position into consideration right from the beginning, West Africa should have been our frontier. It's not a place where people can now come and tell us what to do or not. We would have been the super and the superpower along that area, but we failed to do what is needful. And so even the small nations were able to bring from what do you call it, destabilization, now don't even regard us. The ones we even use our money, South Africa, to be able to bring back from colonialism, from apartheid, don't regard us. So what then do you think about Europe and America? That is where we are, gentlemen and ladies. We must wake up and smell the coffee and know that this is the time for all of us to call the best hands, the best heads from wherever geographical location they are in Nigeria and tell them, what do you see? It is time for all of us to look at the what do you call it, binoculars into the future and begin to make preparation for what is to come. On that faithful note, I want to thank you to all of you who have been on the keyboard, who have supported us in one way or the other. Your being here also is a support for us, and so we really appreciate what you guys are doing and what always being here for us. We'll be here again this week, and as like I said earlier, we'll try and bring you discussion that you want to hear and see how we can help from this end to push Nigeria forward from where we are to where we want to be. God bless you all, and have a wonderful night rest.
1,911,844,833 naira and 46. I'll take that again. 1,911,000,000 1,911,844,000,000 1 trillion. This money is too much for me.